Do I bother doing a YouTube intro? How do I do this again? How does LPs work? I don't know. I guess I will. Hi everybody, Renegade 68 here with some Let's Stream Play. Yeah, that's what I said. Let's play stream some Fate Stay Night Blind. Last time we did things and then we did a refresher. Maybe you didn't watch that. Whatever. We're gonna refresh a little bit more actually. Just a tad. So where are these weapons we got? Right, because we've got a few of them. Some of them are from Gilly. Some of them are elsewhere. This is Caliburn, a holy sword that symbolizes England's King of Kings, King Arthur. It is the symbol of king pulled out from a chosen stone under the guidance of Magus Merlin. It is different from the one granted by the Fairy of the Lake, and its characteristics as a noble phantasm differ, but it seems Saber is more attached to this holy sword, even though it's the one they lost. Also, shout out to Shiro_best_girl, who followed me yesterday, so after the stream, so thank you for that. Anyways, where were we? Since a sword is a symbol of power, a sword carried by a king usually ends up being degraded to the status of an ornament covered by direction. This is the biggest difference between Excalibur and Caliburn. In exchange for being a beautiful sword, its effectiveness as a weapon does not match that of Excalibur. And the legend is said that it broke when King Arthur fought in a battle against Prince of Chile. Durandal. Okay, this is one of Gilly's swords? A holy sword favored by... Because, yeah, this is... They don't... Alright. A holy sword favored by Roland, the paladin of Middle Age Europe. The king Charlemagne was granted the sword by an angel and awarded it to Roland, the honored leader of the 12 Knights. It holds 3 miracles and does not lose its sharpness even when its possessor's magical energy is depleted. Shiro Best Girl is a familiar name. I wonder why. It holds 3 miracles and does not lose its sharpness even when its possessor's magical energy is depleted. Let Caliburn, it is a symbol of power, splendidly made. Herpy. Herpoo. A monster-killing holy sword used by Perseus, the famous hero in Greek mythology. So these are Gilly's weapons. Okay. Herpy itself is not an outstanding sword, but has a great characteristic, the ability of refraction of prolonged life. Divine skill that nullifies the special abilities of immortals. It's said that the wounds made by Herpy cannot be healed, so this would be very sketchy against like Saber or whatever. Treatment in accordance with the laws of nature is still possible. It was used to kill the youngest of the 3 immortal sisters, Medusa. And does this do anything fancy? I feel like it would do something fancy, but it seems like it's just a good blade. Vajra. One of the divine symbols of Indra, god of lightning from ancient Indian mythology. Indra was originally... Oh, that's right. Herpy on Shiro could be bad because it might fuck up his magical whatever generation. Divine symbols of Indra, god of lightning from ancient Indian mythology. Indra was... It is Indian. I said Indrian. Indra was originally a phenomenon introduced by the Aryans, and Vajra is officially called Vijaya? But when he was renamed... butchering names, Taishakuten, as the age turned to Buddhism, his divine symbol also changed its name. It's a single shot in Wolf Phantom's damage is about B+. Simple weapon that does fixed damage regardless of the position's magical energy. It's a weapon that... Okay. And then, how many more do we have? How many more does he have? Dansleaf. He's got a whole bunch. Demonic sword from the Nibble Gunin. A cursed Wolf Phantasm that brings ruin to its possessor. It is demonic sword handed down through the family that killed the northern European hero Sigurd, and is a noble phantasm originally possessed by the dragon Fafnir. It has a strong curse of revenge, but it also guides possessor to ruin. Okay. Demonic swords and holy swords can name both glory and ruin, but this noble only brings ruin. Gotcha. So hopefully that means we're going to beat him, because he's using this dance leaf. Monohoshizo. Oh, this is assassins. Okay. Longsword said to be carried by the swordsman, according to the records. Literally laundry hanging pole. According to the records, it is said to be 90 centimeters long, but the assassin wields in the story is 150, and its range is about that of a spear. In a real battle, long range translates directly into advantage, but when you're talking about the sword, it must be admired that such a length is out of the question. It'll be effective in a one-on-one battle, but its length and weight would trouble the user in a large-scale combat. There are no swordsmen able to use this longsword satisfactorily other than an assassin who has skills surpassing limitations. Undefined dagger rider, a giant nail rider, uses orange as unknown, but we think that is a weapon that reflects her inner character. We think? Who is we? Who's writing this? Who is we? Axe sword. Right. A sword of rock Berserker uses. Part of the foundation of the temple Iceburn. Prepared in itself was the catalyst used to summon Berserker. Hercules was skilled in archery, but since he's gone Berserk, he has lost his former weapons and skills. Oh, this is another one of Gilly's. Weird how this is at the bottom. This is a one-of-a-kind halberd weapon passed down in the Chinese culture. A halberd is a polearm and a thrust and a strike. And has many usages. Although it was a weapon that could be used by anyone, it dies out as time passes, until it was revived in the Sung period as the Hotengetsuki. It has many uses such as thrusting, swiping, pulling, and parrying, but on the other hand, it is said that a great deal of skills need to handle the weapon. The crescent moon-shaped blade is called the crescent blade, and we call weapons with only one of these blades Seirugeki. Out of many halberds, only this halberd has promoted to the rank of noble phantasm, probably because it was used by a famous military commander. Who is we indeed? Grumble, grumble. Okay, and then the other thing I wanted to check. I'm not going to read everybody's fucking backstory again, but I want to remind myself what some of these are. Strength 4, 4, 4, 4, 3, 3, 3. Magic resistance A. Cancels any magic A rank or below. In practice, no magic they are able to hurt Saber. Ability to ride things. She's not the rider though, it's only B. She can ride most vehicles with above average skill, but she cannot ride those of Demonic Beast and Holy Beast. QQ Lane. He's got 3 endurance versus 3. Okay, so better agility with 5. Worse magic, shit luck. Slightly better noble phantasm. Really? I guess the one shot is good, but she's got like double noble phantasms. Magic resistance C nullifies all magic that requires less than 2 verses. Cannot block large-scale magic such as great magic and ritual magic. Archer. Magic resistance D nullifies single-action magic, equivalent to a warding amulet. Ability that allows independent movement even after the master's magical energy supply is cut off. Oh. With rank B, it is possible for servant to stay in this role for 2 days after losing its master. Interesting. Is that going to come up? Because that would involve Rin fucking dying without Archer dying. Maybe in some pathway. Depends how expansive this game's pathways are. With how long this game is, I don't think they're going to be too expansive, but maybe. Old Phantasm question mark. It's got to be like S+. Considering his other stats are kind of lacking, like only D strength. C agility. B magical energy is not bad. Suggests the Merlin connection. That, you know, there's possibility there. I don't know. Rider. E endurance, so shit endurance, but A+ noble phantasm. D luck. So many people with bad luck. B agility. Magic resistance B. Riding A+. Can ride even demonic and holy creatures. This, however, does not include dragons. So you need S riding to ride dragons? Caster. Territory creation A. Creates an area that invitation to oneself as a magus. Enables the creation of a temple, superior to a workshop. Magic energy A+, luck B, phantasm C, strength E. Tool creation. Allows creation of tools that carry magical energy. Even allows for the creation of an immortality serum, but the result is only an imitation. Assassin. Okay. Kojiro! Presence, concealment D. Hides when presence is a servant, suitable for spying. Okay. Endurance E, agility A+, luck A. Really? And he still died off screen with luck A? Seems odd. Good thing we didn't fight Castor on her turf. Well, it's just... Would Gilly still have been able to beat her on her turf? Noble Phantasm? Berserker. A+, A. Only B luck, though. A, Noble Phantasm. Madness B. All parameters are increased, but sanity is lost. And then this Archer. Strength B. Noble Phantasm. EX. Oh, we don't even have S. It's EX. Luck A. Magical B. Strength B. Endurance C. Agility C. Ooh, okay. So Saber's still losing in every area to him, right? Yeah. Chaotic good. Are you good? I'd call him more neutral, but... Magic resistance... I know these alignments are bullshit anyways, but, you know. Magic resistance E, defense against magics. Okay. Independent action A+. Can act without a master. Is that just something he gets because of the Grail, or that just seems like an odd thing to throw in there? And then there's details and other things. We have no details. Skills, charisma A+. Talent to command and lead a great army. At this level, it is not so much strength of character, but more like a curse. And we don't know. Berserker, we know he has 12 labors, and yet he still had even more lives than He was killed multiple times. It was dumb. Skills, battle. Okay, allows for battle even on the verge of death. You just stay alive. Mind's Eye, warns danger by sixth sense. Bravery A, ignore any mental inferences. Strength of one's godlike nature. Yeah. Details. I'm not going to look at details. It's going to take too long. Assassin. Right. We don't have it. Oh, we do have it. We have assassin. We have details. Weird. I guess we get the details once we learn the. I'm not sure. Anti-personal demonic sword. Mind's Eye. Fake. Transparency. Clear and serene. Okay, remind me. I think the only really one that's important right now that I want to double check. What was yours again? We have no idea. Okay. We don't know yours either. We know this. All abilities increased by a rank when used. AC plus 100 will also be in effect. AC? We're talking about D&D. Is a physical attack that destroys the target by controlling a divine beast using its powerful charge. Maximum speed, no effect, highest level in both attack and defense. Bellerophon is the name of the young man in Greek mythology who supposedly managed to ride Pegasus. Rank A+, Noble Phantasm, 2 to 50, 300 people, and then there's this too. She's got double. Barrier of blood, it melts people within it. The melted people become red blood and its primary uses. Okay, yeah. We don't have his. We have these. Wait, he has two? Piercing Lance. Oh, it's just 2 pages. It's the same one. Gabe Old. Okay. And then Saber's got. Wait, why does she have 3? Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, I see. I understand now. Okay. She has 3 pages, but it's all for Bound Jafito the Wing King. Invisible Sword is not allowed. And then she's got this too. This is C. I'm surprised that you have 3 pages for something that's C. And then there's this one. Sword of Light. And this one's A++. Target 1,000 people! Not a weapon made of men, but a divine weapon forged by the plans. No offense is the greatest. There's transition to the power. Okay. Okay. Alright. I just wanted to remind myself on some of the details of the fighting. So, what's been some of the talking in this scene specifically, if we go back a little bit? In fact, actually, let's start. We're like real, right? Run, Saber's noble phantasm is. Saber looks toward me, so far away. I can't even help her if she's so far away. My body has only recovered to the point where I can barely move my fingers. That's not much movement. It seems your master is not so bad after all. It seems he has a hunch about my true identity. Eh? Before that, what if the noble phantasm in myth and legend had a form before they were given names? Can't be, but wait, it is possible. Myths and legends do not start from nothing. All myths have common points because a single foundation became their model. Because the legends that become objects of faith are only those that originate in that land. I think demonic swords and holy swords start having special abilities around that time. But he isn't QQ Lanes. That lance cannot be Gabe Old. The thing is, that is definitely the real Gabe. That's right, he has Gabe Old too, the cheater. This could all be explained if it was a fake, but as long as it's real, this contradiction is no. Hold on. Original. The model of weapon. Saber is right. Is this real? When did he show up? How long has he been in the scene? Okay, so we had a bit of a fight. That's right, because we got interrupted in a bit of an awkward way. Oh, this is as far back. Oh, this is as far back as I can go, so let's start from here. That's why she intentionally distances herself. And since she knows how to deal with it, she's confronting the enemy straight on. If the noble phantasms are swords, and if the swords' abilities are equal, the deciding factor will be their own sword techniques. By that theory, Saber has to win. Alright, then come at me. Defiance to your sword, I shall show you everything I have. The man laughs. Fine. Charge. Okay, alright. Hiya, still Kananin. He's been here for a while. Alright. He's been messing up our date for a while, I see. Saber's sword will slash his armor for sure. The instant I think that... Gate of Babylon. Oh! An invisible door opens behind the man. What? Saber's body stops. The weapon the enemy takes are different from the previous dark red sword. The first is invisible sword like Saber's. The man is holding yet another sword. The sword of ice. Twists her body to avoid it, but the space the sword goes through freezes. Saber retreats covered in ice. As the ice starts to break, the enemy holds a sickle-like weapon. Too many weapons. She instantly tries to block the weapon approaching her neck with her gauntlet, but it's useless. The sickle goes through her arm like a gauntlet. Isn't there and takes away her magical energy. Ah, that one, yeah. As if cutting away her bone and not her flesh or blood. Saber totters, but manages to stay standing. It is a different kind of retreat now, not to distance herself and prepare for the next attack. It's a desperate retreat, just to get away from the enemy. That's impossible. Saber glares at the enemy, drawing magical energy into her arm. Many handles are floating. So this would be when her magic gets cut off. That's what slaughtered Castor, and there was no offense to the Golden Knight who cornered Saber. It is a scene that makes even me want to doubt my own eyes. Those handles floating around behind him are surely those of noble phantasms. Not just 10 or 20. No, even though I can't see them, I can feel they are infinite from all times and places, as if to say that servant has all the divine mysteries from every legend. What a cheater! But Saber's still the best servant, am I right? Feels like Archer's the real best servant, let's be honest. Both times he's pretty great. Archer, who are you? Saber's voice is trembling. A servant will not answer when asked their true identity, but the enemy's noble phantasm is so strange that Saber has to ask. Answer me, Archer. Heroic spirit can only have one noble phantasm. No, some have more, but 2 should be the limit. Really? Why? Why can't you have 3? Heroic spirit with infinite noble phantasms cannot exist. Cannot exist? You are jumping to conclusions, Saber. Heroic spirits' noble phantasms are the weapons they had when they were alive. This is a simple story. All these noble phantasms are things I collected while I was alive. Are you insulting me, Archer? That is even more impossible. No matter who you are, it would be impossible if you collect all the noble phantasms, the symbols of other heroic spirits. No such heroic spirit exists. Saber is right. All the noble phantasms he has are great. There are demonic swords from Northern Europe and demonic swords from South America. A hero made his name in so many different places. And first of all, only Lancer has Gabolg. Heroic spirits noble phantasms are the weapons they had when they were alive. By that rule, as soon as he has Gabolg, he has to be QQ Lane. But he isn't QQ Lane, so that Lance cannot be Gabolg. But the thing is that it's definitely the real Gabolg. This could be all explained if it was fake, but as long as it's real, this contradiction is... No, hold on. Original? The model of weapon? It can't be, but wait, it's possible. Myth and legends do not start from nothing. All myths have common points because a single foundation became their model. Because legends that become objects of faith are only those that originate in that land, I think demonic swords and holy swords start having special abilities around that time. So before that, what if the noble phantasm in myth and legends had a form before they were given names? It seems your master is not so bad after all. It seems he has a hunch about my true identity. Eh? Saber looks toward me, so far away. I can't even help her if she's so far away. My body has only recovered to the point where I can barely move my fingers. Run! Saber! His noble phantasm! It's... real, right?
そう、単純な話だ、セイバー。
Yes, it is really simple, Saber.
最も古い時代、まだ世界が一つだった頃の話をしよう。
Let me tell you about the most ancient time when the world was still one. Pangea? Is that what they called it? Back when all the continents were together in one?
その国は栄え、王はあらゆる財宝を収集した。
The kingdom flourished, and the king collected every treasure in the world.
集められぬものなどなく、足りぬものなどなかった。
There was nothing he could not collect, and he lacked nothing. Yes, and that would be you, the king of everything.
王は完璧な宝物庫を持ち、その中にある有象無象の武器は使われることなく王と共に眠りについた。
The king had a perfect treasury, and the masses of weapons in there were never used, but instead went to sleep with the king. Until they were later dispersed as the world grew on, but at the time you did have everything. Now, did they all have their powers at the time? I mean, where, you know, it's like what Shira says, where do the legends begin? Do they just start by having their powers, or were they imbued powers later on? You know, it's kind of hard to say in the timeline of things, but,
要はそれだけの話だ。
The story is that simple.
王の死後、宝物庫の中身は世界に散らばり、名犬であるがゆえに重宝され活躍し、いずれ宝具として扱われた。
After the king's death, the contents of the treasury room spread all over the world. They were valued because they were splendid swords, and they eventually became noble phantasms. Not the back in the past. I think Gil is meant humanity. I don't think Archer's a few 100 million years old. Oh, well, you know what? Shut up. Who knows what the universe is like in their universe? You never know, unless you do. So, they only became noble phantasms later, but you still get to use them because you had them all at the time, even though they weren't noble phantasms at the time? That feels like you're cheating. Not gonna lie. if they weren't noble phantasms till later, then you shouldn't really have access to them now, right? I feel like you're a dirty cheater. I mean, okay, if the Grail allows it, I guess whatever.
わかるか騎士王よ。
Do you understand, King of Knights?
お前たちの扱う宝具とやらは、もともとはその王の持ち物に過ぎないのだと。
The noble phantasms you use are just the king's possessions. So what, does that mean you have like a Caliburn, an Excalibur and shit too? Because that'd be pretty crazy. How do you beat someone who's got like all the OP weapons? Gil is the biggest cheater. He's basically taking the credit for all of humanity's achievement without doing anything. As humanity progressed, they made, they imbued these weapons with greatness. And now he gets to have all the greatness when he gets summoned back just because he had them at one point. What a dirty cheater. It's like inheritance. I guess, but like, how do we beat him if he's got all the OP bullshit? Feels impossible unless Shiro's even more OP bullshit when he becomes his real spirit form side. If you go back far enough, a model must exist. So it's only natural for every legend, myth, folklore, and noble phantasm to have an original model. And, in the distant past, if it was possible to collect all their models, one could possess all the noble phantasms. Only one hero could correspond to that, Gilgamesh. One with origins in a legend far older than King of Arthur, or Heracles. King of Arthur, one said to rule over ancient Mesopotamia. I know that name, but I forgot that's what it was called. The half-god, half-human king who collected treasures as he wished, and sought immortality at the end. His name was...
Gilgamesh. 人類最古の英雄王。
Mankind's oldest king of heroes. Oh boy. It's like, what if Jeff Bezos, who? Ancestor goes to the future and just takes all of his money. Who? Hold on, I gotta look this up. I feel like I'm missing a reference. Jeff Bezos? Jeff Bezos. Who? Oh, that's the CEO of Amazon. Okay. Yeah, he's got a lot of money. Alright. Mankind's oldest king of heroes. She sounds as if she's holding back fear. The Golden Knight. Gilgamesh accepts the shock with satisfaction. What a dick. What an enjoyable dick.
いかにもこの身は貴様らでは叶うべくもない最強の英霊だ
Indeed, I am the strongest heroic spirit. You shall be no match. There's nothing else to talk about. We're fucked. All that remains is for him to use his many noble phantasms to defeat his enemy.
ほう我の名を知った上でまだ抗うか
Oh,
今
you
度
would
こそ勝ち目がないと悟ったはずだが
still oppose me even after you know my name? You must know you have no chance of winning. I wonder if there's any plot hole in Fate Zero. I don't know. I know they reveal his name at some point. Saber was I'm gonna assume Fate Zero knew what it was doing and didn't ever reveal that fact in front of Saber, but you must know you have no chance of winning.
やってみなければわかりません。
I do not know unless I try. Oh shit. Even if he himself also has an Excalibur and a Caliber and all that shit. Yeah, we have love. Love can beat any. If you just love hard enough. The power of love can beat any bullshit, noble phantasm bullshit.
いかに英雄王といえど、超えられぬものがあるはずだ。
Even the king of heroes must have something he cannot surpass. They say there's always a bigger fish, but eventually that just becomes untrue. Although, if we go on rock, paper, scissors formula, assuming he has some kind of weakness, there might be some way to exploit it, but not sure what that would be at the moment. Saber's surroundings waver. Uh-oh! Uh-oh, it's Excalibur time! She's doing it! The wind starts to twirl and becomes a raging gale to protect her. At the same time, the golden sword appears. No! Saber! Oh, why are you saying it's bad? Are you saying it's bad because you think he's just going to counter with his own fucking Excalibur? It can't be. Saber's going to use the Excalibur? I mean, why not at this point? Isn't your magic flow fixed now? Like, after you had the magical dragon sex at, during the whole Berserker incident, isn't it just flowing normally? So it shouldn't be that big of a deal if she uses it here. Unless I am misunderstanding. I mean, obviously, we don't want to fuck up, but just don't fuck up. Gilgamesh stops. Uh-oh. But what is that look? That look is just so, like, I don't know, it's like, you really think you can beat me with that wimpy Excalibur? Gosh. He too must know the Holy Sword's power as his composure vanishes. Oh, really? His composure vanishes? Looks like he's plenty composed. Saber keeps staring at Gilgamesh and looks in my direction for an instant. Oh, that's true. There could be a lot of collateral damage, but nobody's around, right? Who gives a fuck? Stare. Oh, you look at my direction. Are you looking for affirmation? Or are you like, you gonna combo it up with Caliburn, and you just gonna let me use Excalibur? Ellipses. Is she telling me to run? Oh, that's true. You could be collateral. But I am the husbando in this love triangle relationship. I must be the one to assert my male dominance. But no, I mean, maybe you should run. I don't know. If you could help fight, could you awaken your inner spirit and actually help? That's probably your only real chance. I don't think Saber has a chance one-on-one. I don't think you have a chance one-on-one. You gotta tag team this shit. Gilgamesh has his back to the river. And Saber is over here. If it's the river, then who cares? The river might get cut up a little bit, but unless you see some boats in there, I don't think it's going to be a problem. It must have been when she attacked him earlier. Before I realize it, Saber is confronting Gilgamesh to protect me. See, she does like you. She wants to be your waifu, but she's like, no, I have a duty or whatever. You just have to tell her why her duty is stupid. She has very stupid duty. No, you can't use it here. It's very damada. Very bad. Very much. Nice crescent moon in the sky. Symbolic. But of what? I pour strength into my limbs. I said that as if I knew, and I was asking you. I don't really know. It's probably usually crescent moons are symbolic of something. Symbolic of the slicey thingy that he used on Saber to drain her magic, if that happened. I pour strength into my limbs. Even if I try to move my numb body, all I can move is one of my arms. That's enough to use it to create a Caliburn. But I still collect all the magical energy in my body to raise my body with that one arm. Oh, the heart is beating. Damn it. My senses were gone, but every bone in my body starts to scream once I start moving. You just gotta start, right? Once you start moving a little, the rest of the body just moves on instinct. That's how it works sometimes, right? The end of something or the start of something? You'd think the end of something given the circumstances, but I don't know. Unless the start of our real relationship. The pain is warning. The pain is telling me I'll break if I move any further. Yeah, but you fought through pain like that before and came out okay because of your bullshit healing abilities. And again, you just gotta be careful. I'm hitting you with that magic draining bullshit. I ignored and raised my body up. That's right, fight the pain. I mean, you're probably too stupid to realize that you can fight the pain, and you're just fighting it as being a stupid. But in this case, it's smart because you would know, but you don't because you're stupid. But if you did, it wouldn't be bad because you want to fight. Sure seems like he can only be bad-ended if he gives up in his willpower. Okay, makes sense. Just don't give up. As long as you believe in the saber sexual, you won't give up. What he said. I bear my pain. I don't have time to deal with it. I have to get up quickly and protect Saber. Protect my waifu. My ghost waifu, now that I know that I think I know, I don't know, but I, Renegade, know that I'm probably also a ghost husbando to some extent. Because I have a bad feeling about this. Do you have some sixth sense as a Holy Spirit? The way you act a lot with your bad feelings, it reminds me of, if you go to status, we have some people with, like, skills where it'll be, like, instinct, the ability to always feel the best course for oneself. Now, this is debatable given that he's sometimes stupid, but he does seem to have a lot of these instincts as the game goes on. Maybe Shiro himself, whatever Holy Spirit, please die this pathway. What? Maybe Shiro himself, whatever spirit he has the instinct, because he definitely seems to have this instinct a lot recently. I have a bad feeling about this. A premonition I felt when I faced that enemy. Technical difficulties. I mean, not actually technical, more like my chair. My chair positioning was bugging me. She will never be able to beat him. Rude, give her a chance. The instinctive feeling. Yeah, it even says instinctive, like this, like the name of the skill. The instinctive feeling that I should never let Saber fight him won't go away. After all, women can't fight. No, wait, we're past that, I think.
音に聞こえし聖剣か。いいだろう。
A holy sword, huh? Fine. The twirling wind is now a raging storm. Even with the holy sword shining in front of him, the golden knight does not back away. It'd be interesting to see what this guy is like after being beaten, because I'm assuming at some point we will beat this guy, and I don't think we ever saw him really in a beated position in Fate Zero. So it'll be interesting to see what it's like. Will the facade fade? Well, I mean, I don't know if I'd call it a facade. I think he believes his own hype. What happens when his own hype is proven to be not the most hypest? It's always interesting to see how the characters like this will react. Will they believe that it was a fluke, I'm still hype? Or will he, like, fall into despair? Or... I'm always curious to see how characters like this will deal with the hype dying. Moreover...
では、こちらもふさわしいものを出さなければな。
Then I shall use a weapon appropriate against it. Oh boy, what weapon? He pulls an incongruous sword from the gate behind him. Oh fuck, what is it? Oh, it's a demon thing. That's the cause of my bad feeling. That's the demon sword. Is that one of the weapons that we got? It's all red and blacky black. Is that meant to be, nope. Dance leaf. No, it doesn't look quite like dance leaf. It's got some bloodiness, but the hilt is different. That sword does not appear in any legend. Oh shit, what does that mean? It's a secret hidden legend that you don't know about, but he gets the powers from it anyways because of bullshit? I could identify every one of the other noble phantasms that were floating behind him, but even I cannot tell what that sword is. Uh-oh.
俺はすべての宝具の原型を持つ。だがそれらはすべて無名であり、俺しか持ち得ぬ武具というわけではない。
I have the original models of all the noble phantasms, but they're all nameless, and I am not their only possessor. Yes, and they're also mostly powerless from what I understand, and weren't even noble at that time. So should they at least be weaker? They should at least be weaker, right, than the current version? I don't know. A cylindrical sword. The sword is made of 3 parts, and each part is turning slowly in different directions. It looks like a rock drill to pierce through a hard surface.
だがこれは違う。正真正銘。この英雄王しか持ち得ぬ剣だ。
But this is different. This sword is truly a sword that only the King of Heroes possesses. Is this your one true noble phantasm then? Interesting. So what happened with it? If no one else ever possessed it? Was it buried with you? Was it, like, destroyed? Things to wonder.
名などないのでな。俺はエアとだけ呼んでいる。
No one ever bothered to name it. Naming fancy swords didn't really become a thing till later in time. Alright. It has no name, so I just call it Ea? I assume they're using Japanese pronunciation and it would be Ea, but I don't know. It could be E with English pronunciation. I just call it air.
純粋に宝具の力比べをすると。
Are you saying we should just compare the strengths of of our noble phantasms? Yes, dick measuring contest between the noble phantasms, and if his dick is bigger, then you're the loser, Saber, and you must submit to him and become his wife. Then if you win, you become my waifu. That's how it works. No backing out. It's one way or the other. You don't get your stupid wish with Saber. The light concentrates. There's only about 10 meters between them. Within that distance, Gilgamesh shouldn't even be able to dodge her attack. But what about his attack?
そうだ。なに、遠慮することはないぞ。最強と呼ばれるその剣。一度味わってみたくもあったからな。
Right. You do not need to hold back. I've always wanted to take the sword said to be the most powerful. That's interesting. You're implying you don't have it. I thought you had literally every weapon like a cheating cheater. Are you saying you never had Excalibur and then that was a different thing? Hold on, what's the story behind Excalibur? Weapon. Wait, we don't have it. We just have Caliber. We don't have Excalibur. Never fucking mind. I have no idea what the story behind it is. I mean, I could probably check if I went to, like, Sabers. Whatever. Always wanted to take the sword said to be the most powerful. His laughter echoes through the park. Maybe something about the legend means that he never had access to Excalibur, which could be a weakness. Doesn't seem to have Excalibur in his treasury. Excalibur wasn't made by humanity. Oh, it was like made by fairies or whatever. Made by fairy godparents? Ooh. So despite all his greatness, it was made by the planet? Weird. Despite all his greatness, he doesn't have everything. That could be his weakness. So, even though, like, against him, someone like Lancer would be like, well, fuck, you have my best weapon. What do I do? At least against Saber. Saber has something you don't. So, She must consider that provocation. Or she must consider that provocation? Yeah.
いいだろう。
All right.
ならば我が剣、見事受け切ってみるがいい。
Then try to defend yourself against my sword! Saber's sword moves. Her lips move to say its true name. There's nowhere to run now! The noble phantasm released with its true name will smash all of its power onto Gilgamesh!
出番だ。起きるがいい。エア。
Yeah, it's Ea. I heard him saying it. It's your turn. Wake up, Ea. The cylindrical sword, Ea, roars. Also, wait, what do you mean? You have to... It has no name, so you just call it a name, and now you have to say its name to wake it up for the purposes of the Grail War and the Noble Phantasm? That seems weird. Like you have to say its name, though it has no name, and you're just calling it like a nickname, but now it's properly responding to its nickname? I feel like the rules are weird. Anyways... Or you're just saying it to be fancy, I guess. In response to Gilgamesh's words. In response to his words? What words? The name that you apparently don't even have and he just made up for you? Is he lying? Whatever. The three blades turn with a whirling sound. If Saber's Excalibur brings on a whirlwind by releasing the wind, Gilgamesh's air creates a storm by swallowing the surrounding air. Get it? Because it surrounds the air and it's called air. Anyways. Swallowing the winds. So, it's like, interesting. Saber's Excalibur makes the whirlwind. Gilgamesh goes in the other direction and draws in the whirlwind, so to speak. X? Caliber! Saber is more experienced with anti-castle noble phantasms. Anti-castle? Okay, I guess that's what it is. It is faster than Ea's roar. Saber pours magical energy into the sword up to its limit in a matter of seconds and excuses it with the greatest power! Or executes it, rather. I said excuses it, but I mean, you can excuse the power too, I guess. Ba-boom! There's no hesitation. I mean, it's much cooler to go and, like, have a build-up and go Excalibur than, like, Yeah. So, I mean, yeah. Saber releases the holy sword that can even split a river in two. And it might be just about to, given there's like a river behind him, right? There is a body of water. Just before that.
エヌマエリシュ
Excuse me? What the fuck are you saying now? Do you have a charge up for this sword too? Despite also giving it a name? Why not just name it after the... You know, Enuma Elish. A light of the same magnitude takes on Excalibur's light. Excuse me? What is this Enuma Elish bullshit? Ooh. He looked blood... He was smiling. Saber... Ooh. Oh! Ooh! That's gonna cause a lot of damage. Ooh, right next to the bridge, a huge impact. Whoa, because, like, Saber was, like, roaring with, like, an angry face. Whereas, ooh, which it seems very in character for him, but Gilly was, like, he was clearly smiling, you know, X-Crazy style, like, yeah, it's coming, let's clash. Oh, boy, and what a clash it is. A huge impact. So some people might notice this from afar. And we just have to kill all the muggles, no big deal. The raging wind knocks over trees, and the crashing lights become an exploding sun, burning my eyes. No, my body! If you're a regular person, you probably would have been ripped apart by the ricochet effect of all the, you know, clashing. But because you're like Shiro, you're going to regenerate any damage you take, I would assume here. Don't know exactly how his Noble Phantasm works, but at the moment it just seems like an epic sword clash, so. My body's almost blown away by the wind. I managed to dig myself into the ground with one hand and endure the waves of light and heat. How long will the conflict last? I mean, it's not like a beam struggle, it's a sword clash. Are they mid-clashing, and while they're clashing, it's making this kind of effect? Because that's pretty crazy. I assume to be a one and done. But if it's like, as long as they're clashing, this happens, that's some pretty crazy sword juice. And it could even get even crazier if one of them wins, if it, like, builds up tension. Ea, from what I remember for the actual Babylon myth, is the name of the creation god, but who knows what it means in Fate. Well, I'm assuming you know, given your, but yeah. Oh, it's from Babylon. I know some Babylon stuff, but I have not heard of Ea, so that's interesting. How long will the conflict last? I know of Babylon because of Sonic Riders, I'm not even gonna lie. I like Sonic Riders, and they got the Babylon Rogues, and anyways. How long will the conflict last? The battle of the two rumblings that make me fear the earth is going to split into two is... Very cool! It's cool! It's kawaii-desu, suddenly ended with her figure surrounded by a white light. Is it a good white light or a bad light? Is that a winning white light or a losing white light? Uh-oh! That looks like a powerful explosion. Who died? Did I lose my servant? Saber dead? Is this a bad ending? A crash. I hear something falling right beside me. If I know how narratives work, Saber definitely lost that clash. But I don't think she would have died from it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she is dead. Saber! What it is. I can tell even with my blinded eyes. Is it just the sword? Is it just the sword falling from the end of the clash? Because the sword can survive anything, but Saber herself can't? She's dead? Is that what the falling thing is? Oh, no, she's alive. I didn't say she's in good condition, but she's alive. I thought she might be dead. Nah, I think if that was going to kill her, it would have evaporated her into nothing. The fact that she has a body left, I think, means she survived that. She is definitely torn up, though, because she's got even one of her, despite the magical repellent armor she has, one of the arms is just completely ripped off. So, although you can see the skin underneath. Very bloody, but given that she's a servant, I don't think she's dead from this. That's how torn up Saber is. Nice laugh. It starts with a koo-ha-ha-ha. Interesting. So despite how strong Excalibur is, Archer's Ea. Oh, there we go. Gate of Babylon, King's Treasure. A sword key that leads to the Golden Capital. It connects space and allows the user to freely take any tool from the treasure room. Needless to say, this noble phantasm will become stronger the more wealth a person has. Rank E to A++. What? Type anti-personnel noble phantasm. Range Enuma Elish, star of creation that split heaven and earth. Cutting of space by the sword of separation Ea. A layer of wind compressed and accelerated becomes a fake layer of time and space that smashes all who oppose it. Time and space. The attack power is so strong that an elimination rank AC or a counterattack with an equivalent damage level is needed to defend against this noble phantasm. An elimination rank AC. Elimination rank. Or a counterattack with an equivalent damage. Damage is strength times 20, though magic may be added to strength at random. What the fuck are these fucking game stats? Rank EX. Type anti-world noble phantasm. Range 199. Target 1,000 people. Is maximum damage is 4,000, but with the support of the noble phantasm in his treasury, the damage increases even further. Oh, fuck. It has equal or superior output to Saber's Excalibur, and it is a sword that cut apart the world. Interesting. So comparing that to Saber's, the good one, rank, it says only A++. It was bound to lose by this logic. It says that it can only be beaten by something of an equal rank, so it needs EX to deal with it, I think. It is not a weapon made by men, but a divine weapon forged by the planet. Noble phantasm that is the greatest of holy swords. Transforms the possessor's magical energy into light, increases its kinetic energy by converging and accelerating, and allows for the use of sorcery on the level of divine spirits. Anti-castle. This is anti-world. Yeah, this one's... Can you default me to this, please? This is anti-world. This is only anti-castle. So, not as good. It has the same range and maximum targets, though. To an observer, it looks like a giant beam of light, but its target point is the tip. Is the ultimate slash that cuts through everything in the area the light goes through. But it doesn't cut through space-time, I don't think. It's enormous power, heats space around the tip, and as a result, it is interpreted as a wave of light that mows across the Earth. You could call it the directed energy wave. So, despite this being like her key in the hole, the best thing about her secret Excalibur, Archer, who's already OP, just has like a better version, essentially. It's kind of the same weapon, but it's like just better. It's EX instead of A++. So, Archer fucking OP. Saber's still the best servant, though. In the distance, the Golden Knight is laughing crazily, unscathed. Yeah, that's how clashes like that work. Only really one person comes out of that injured.
人類最強の聖剣とやらもその程度か。人間の幻想など所詮子供魂よな。
I love how excited he gets about this. I like it. He finally sees a sword that might be a match for him, and then it's like, nope, it isn't, so I'm really just the bestest. So the most powerful holy sword is only that strong. It's only A++, huh? Humanity's illusions are mere child's play after all. I love it. I love this guy. He's a great cocky villain. He's got a nice VA for sure, yeah. The laughing there, you could hear it in the voice as he was saying it. You can tell that, like, you know, he was actually maybe expecting a real challenge from this. Like, oh, shoot, this is a weapon I don't have. Ooh, he was excited for it as he was smiling entering the clash. Like, he probably is never really truly challenged because of his OP-ness. So he's like, is this going to be a real challenge? Is this my real challenge? Oh, boy, let's go. And then he laughs when he's like, it's not even the real challenge, which is even more funny than if it was the real challenge, because he was expecting it. And he probably wanted it to an extent, But then the fact that it wasn't even that after all the build-up just sort of makes him laugh at even fearing it. His laugh is high-pitched, and it seems like it will carry over the burning air into the heavens. Is it that much fun? He doesn't even look at Saber as he laughs only for his own sake. Yeah, I mean, you know, when you've, when you're the king of kings who had everything the world has, when you finally see something you don't have and then find out that it's not as good as the things you do have, I can understand laughing about that.
Saber.
Status screen updated? I'll look at that later. There's no reply. Are you dead? Did you kill the waifu you wanted to be a waifu? If he did, he'd probably be like, well, if she died that easily, she wasn't worth being my waifu. That's what he would say. But blood gushes out from her mouth as she tries to gasp. Dash, 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 dash. My vision turns red. What was I doing? Wait, the update was for Gil's Noble Phantasm? But I already read his fucking Noble Phantasm. What? Did it get another page or something? No, I'm pretty sure I already read it. I don't know, unless it was a late update. Saber's a real girl. Blood loss is an actual problem. But she's like a real girl with spirit powers, right? So, I don't know exactly how much of a problem it is. We'll see. My vision turns red. What was I doing? You were just standing there watching. You were believing in Saber. How could you? You can't believe in the woman. You can't let a woman do a man's job. Be the sexist that you know you are. Oh, the update was late? Oh, well, great. I already read it. I knew this was going to happen. I knew Saber wouldn't be able to beat Gilgamesh, so why didn't I stop her or even use my command spell? Would have been kind of a waste of a command spell. He would have just, maybe, he might have not pulled that out if Saber didn't pull out the Excalibur, to be fair, but you had to do something. He wasn't going to just back off.
しかし味気ない。完全にこちらの圧勝か。
Yeah, this is exactly how I was expecting him to react. He wanted the challenge. He was looking forward to it. He was even actually starting to fear it. And then when it didn't even give him the challenge he was expecting, he just laughs about it. There's not even a challenge! And then as soon as the laugh is over, he's like, oh fuck, there's no challenge. That sucks. This is rather boring. A complete victory for me, huh?
相殺することもできぬとは拍子抜けだぞセイバー。ああそうか。少しは手加減してやるべきだった。何しろ相手は女子供だったのだ。
He really is Shiro's love rival. He's sexist too. But this is rather boring. A complete victory for me, huh? I'm disappointed that you couldn't even offset my attacks, Saber. Oh, I see. I should have taken it easier on you. After all, I am fighting women and children. Oh, wow. His irritating laugh. Still laughing as he speaks. The responsibility is mine. Yeah, what are you gonna do that she couldn't? You gotta awaken your spirit within you, Shiro. Realize the evil within you to overcome a greater... Well, maybe not evil. It's arguable if Gilgamesh is evil in this sense. He's more just being a complete douche. Overcome the douche! I thought she could win. No matter how bad it felt, I thought Saber's Excalibur would be able to beat him. That's why even though I told her to stop, my command spell didn't react. I wasn't serious. If I really wanted to protect Saber, I could have made her run away using my command spell, and there would have been infinite ways for me to fight by myself. Infinite ways to die by yourself.
さて、ではいただくとするか。汚れてしまったが、何？いずれ同じ目に遭うのだ。ここで傷つこうと問題はあるまいよ。
Well then, let me have you now. You're dirtied, but you would have eventually ended up the same way. What? You're planning for your sex to be that rough? It's no problem that you're hurt now. Are you gonna have her right there on the floor as she's bloodied? Are you that fucked up, Gil? The laughter approaches. That goes from douchebag to evil, I think. If he's really willing to bang her while she's bloodied and fucked up like that, I think that goes from douche to evil. She must have noticed that, as Saber faintly opens her eyes.
セイバー、無事か。
Saber, are you alright? I can see her breathing, but I can't touch her even if I reach out. My body still won't move and I can't even run to her. So I can only call out to her.
セイバー、セイバー、セイバー。
I need to save her. Saber's mouth opens, with some blood still dripping out of it, I assume. She breathes in as if asking for help, and coughs as if even that is painful. Uh-oh.
Shiro, そこにいるのですか?
Oh yeah, those eyes look dead. It's definitely, well, I would not say this is the first time seeing Saber this fucked up. She got pretty fucked up in her initial fight against Berserker. Although, this is probably around the same level, maybe a bit worse. Shiro, are you there? At least in that time, she was able to stand against all odds, whereas this time it doesn't even look like she can do that much. She raises a faint voice, telling me she can't see me.
待ってろ、すぐに。
Hold on. I can't say I'll help her. I'm on the ground too, and I can only move my arms. I can only call out to her and encourage her. Now all she can do is encourage you. She can't even see me in this ugly state. So I guess he got fucked up too? Was he just getting fucked up by the clash, or did he get a little fucked up earlier? Gilly probably sucker punched him at some point. I don't remember exactly.
ああ、そうか。負けたのですね。私は。
Yeah, you can tell that she's fucked up if her understanding of the events is that slow to understand. Oh, I see. I've been defeated. Shiro tried to use Caliburn and got smashed away a while ago. Oh, okay. Is that what happened? I couldn't go that far back in the transcript. So he already tried the Caliburn. I see. And it amounted to nada. Woof. He needs to go further than just summoning Caliburn. He needs the spirit within himself. Otherwise, you guys are totally fucked. And he's about to rape her while she's bleeding out. She speaks in a soft voice and looks at me with no light in her eyes.
申し訳ありません。どうかあなただけでも逃げてください。
I'm sorry.
マスター。
Please, run away, Master. No, I can't leave you like this now of all times. Come on, Shiro. Now of all times is when you gotta awaken the Holy Spirit within you. It's gotta be there or something. Whatever's lingering in there. If not now, then you're gonna lose your chance to... at everything. Everything you want, which right now is the saber sex. She says something absurd while coughing up blood. Dash, dash, dash. My vision turns red with anger. I completely depended on Saber unconsciously. And this is the result? This is why I can't depend on Saber. This is why I was right all along to just do all the fights myself. I can't even stand up after a sudden attack. I grab my head with the only arm that moves. I want to kill myself. Well, of course, you've wanted that for a while. Although this is further encouragement. So I put strength into my hands. I have to squash my head. Ooh, I feel like you succeeded. A firing hammer goes down. Uh-oh. Ooh, that sounds painful. Wow. He really feels... I mean, yeah, I guess he would feel that fucked up by it. Last time when she was this fucked up with Berserkers, when he jumped in front of him. But arguably this is even further beyond, and he should have jumped in front in the first place already if he was going to do the whole jumping in front thing. But unlike the last time with Berserker, this time he actually was both scared and scared of Gilgamesh and confident that he wasn't willing to. So I can see why this makes it maybe takes him a step further, on top of the fact that it's sort of been building and growing as time goes on. And it might be unleashed with his magical sparks, dragon sex. I take the switch to turn myself into a magus and smash it with a hammer instead of my finger.
二度と使わないようにね。投影はあんたの手に余るから。
Never use it again. Projection magic is beyond your level. That's what you think! You're just jealous that I'm super good despite using up my magic circuits and even now being even better than I ever was, ever than you are. Tosaka's words. She says magic beyond one's level will destroy the caster's circuits and nerves. So what? She's more important than that. If I can't protect her, I don't need my body. She's helped me many times. There never has been anyone I cared so much about. So, if I can't protect her, Emi Ashiro can just die here. I can hear sounds of metal. Metallic magic energy reinforces all the bones in my body and all the broken parts of my body. I'll give it everything I have. I'll put it in the highest gear and the highest rotation from the start, and ignoring my limits, I'll create as much magical energy as possible. My spine catches fire and my whole body grows red hot. I bite my tongue to bear the feeling of my brain melting. I bite down on the pink flesh. If I can keep my consciousness just by making a hole in my tongue, there's no problem.
Nani?
What? The footsteps stop. His laughter stops as well.
シロ、
Shiro?
何をしているのです。ダメだ。そんなことをしたら体が。
What are you doing? If you do that, your body will... She must feel it even though she can't see. Saber screams, trying to get back up. That makes my last powers turn on. I stand back up. The body that wouldn't obey me starts to move because of the magic energy poured in past its limits. This is like setting my body on fire to make it run towards water. But I don't care. It's better than watching Saber get hurt. That's right. I finally realize, with a mind that's about to burn away. From the beginning, I swore to hold the sword, because I didn't want to see her hurt.
逃げてと言っているのに、どうして。
I'm telling you to run, so why? I obstruct the enemy. Saber is behind me. Now, I cannot even take one step backwards. No turning back.
ドレス。
What he said. I hold down my brain, which is rolling around on fire, and manage my mind. Oh, I'm unstable. Oops. Let's let that calm down a little bit. Trace, on. I hold down my brain, which is rolling around on fire, and manage my mind. I'm imagining only one thing. I'll divide the projection into 8 sections to create the lost sword. I feel something hard in my left hand. Oh shoot, wait a second. Hold on. Is this more than just, is this Caliburn or more than Caliburn? Imagine only one thing. I divided it into 8 sections. Do you just need 8 sections? I thought for a second he was like, I'm gonna make 8 swords. I'm gonna copy Gilly and have way too many swords. I feel something hard in my right hand. Left hand. Hands. Who cares which hand it's in? I don't even need to look to check. The second manufacture of the sword proved successful without slowing down even once.
私の剣。いえ、それでもダメだ。シロも分かっているはずです。
My
それでは彼には勝てないと。
sword? No, that's still not enough. You must know you cannot beat him with that.
動けるのなら、今は逃げるのだ。
If you can move, please run away. Okay, side note, Shiro's voice actor seems to be great at conveying how fucked up he is while he's voicing the lines. Saber's isn't as great, honestly. She doesn't sound that fucked up from these lines. Just saying.
逃げない。セイバーを迎えに来たんだ。なのに一人で帰ることなんてできるもんか。
Oh, that's right, because they had a date, they had the fight, then he left, and then he came back and to get her, and that's when they ran into Gilly. I understand the circumstance. I won't. I came to pick you up, so I can't run home by myself. I ready my sword. I hold the sword, heavier than a shinai, and glare at the enemy.
やめてシロ。 この男はそんな。
Stop, Shiro, this man is... I shake off Saber's words and step forward. There's 4 meters between us. If I step forward with all my might, I'll be able to attack him. Ooh, this sounds like a new song. Not new, just... not what I'm used to. I've heard this before. The enemy doesn't move. Gilgamesh watches me for a second, then laughs. Yes, Saber couldn't do it, but he thinks I can do it. Even though I already tried this once with Caliburn. Same Shiro's VA got relegated to fucking Sasuke and Naruto. Oh shit! Is Shiro's VA Sasuke? Huh. I mean, at least he's got a big role. Even if the role is kind of a, you know, he's a bit of a dick. But, you know, that's a large role. I didn't know that. He's Sasuke and Naruto, huh? Sasuke's not the worst character in the world for the entire duration.
殺すか
I guess I'll kill you. He says in an emotionless voice. I instantly blocked the attack swung at me. You? I sway my body to the side to avoid the attack. Can you really keep up with his speed? I mean, you've been getting better at keeping up with Saber, but even then I think you're still usually the one getting knocked on your ass. Oh boy! Can you keep up with that? But I'm not fast enough. No shit. If the first attack was a sudden gust, the next barrage of attacks is a raging wind. What he grunted. Parrying is all I can do. No, I wouldn't be able to block the first attack by myself. It's not vanishing instantly. That's an improvement, right? It's fortunate that I also reproduced its memory when I reproduced the sword. Reproduced the memory of the sword? A sword with a long past holds will and experience. Is that why it's not vanishing instantly? Because that's supposed to be huge. Usually they vanish instantly with stuff like this because of how hard it is to create. So the fact that you've created it and it's not actually vanished yet, that's fucking massive. The sword must already be familiar with such attacks. I can't judge Gilgamesh's attacks, but this sword is able to. That's weird. Okay, trust in the sword then. You're the one who fucking made it though. That's fucking weird. Which, I mean, we know that Shiro's weird, but okay. The sword reacts to his attacks before my hands do. I swing to follow the sword, and as a result, I can block his attacks. Is that really enough? But that doesn't last long. My fingers numb every time I swing, and slowly I cannot catch up with the sword. Yeah, it's inevitable. Unless you gotta get a burst. You gotta get some kind of burst. Reproducing Saber's battle experience. She does have that instinct thing. Does that carry over to the sword? Eh. Since she's wielded this in her past? Is that how it works? That's weird. Is it like one of those things? Well, no, that's the opposite. Like, Gilly getting access to, like, Gaebold techniques because it later became Gaebold is still relegated to the sword. The idea that he gets the techniques because Saber used the techniques with the sword is... that's on a whole nother level. That's like a whole nother sensual connection between the two of them. It's getting to the next level. I mean, sure, it's next level, but it's such a weird next level. It's so weird, like, understanding, like, the sword moving by itself as if it was being held by someone else. That's like that's as if you're projecting the person themselves and the way the person moved with the sword. And you're almost just, it's almost like, that's like Shaman King almost, where you bring the spirit and you're just letting the spirit possess you as they do the moves. That's like a whole nother level, I feel. That's interesting.
雑種見苦しいにも程がある
Mongrel, you're worse than unsightly. Can't you at least compliment him for keeping up this much despite being a petty human? As a petty human, he really shouldn't be this strong, right? He probably, you know what? What he dislikes isn't the fact that I'm so bad. He dislikes that I'm so good. He's like, you really shouldn't be this good. Stop wasting my time. Let me get to the main course. He's not good enough. Shiro's not good enough to actually give him a real challenge for him to enjoy it. But he's good enough that it kind of pisses him off. Like, It's like an ant. Normally you crush the ants under your feet. It's like every time he goes to step down, the ant gets out of the way. He's like, what the fuck? Just let me crush you already. It's annoying. I can understand. He must dislike even the slightest resistance. He glares at me in anger and retreats a bit. Thank God. If he had kept attacking me, it would not have lasted more than a few seconds. Maybe the reason he stopped is because he was scared. Maybe he saw the real truth. He saw the real scariness behind me. And maybe that's what he was afraid of. I take a deep breath and try to control my breathing. With my breath? And then...
薄汚い偽物め。それほどそれが気に入ったのならば。
Oh fuck, you don't have Excalibur.
本物を見せてやろう。
Are you telling me you have Caliburn, or do you mean just a real noble phantasm? You filthy imitator. If you like it so much, I shall show you the real one. Do you have the real Caliburn? Oh fuck, that'd be a little disgraceful. Filthy imitator. Filthy imitator, my ass! You're the one imitating everyone else! I mean, sure, they got the weapons later, but they were imbued with the power after you had them. So you're the one who's a damn imitator. You wouldn't admit that, but it's fucking true. You'd call everyone else imitators. They're just using your swords, even if they imbued them with powers later. You're a fucking cheater. You freaking hypocritical dickwang. He takes out a sword. He doesn't have Excalibur, but he does have Caliburn, I guess. Whoa. That is a familiar sword. The ornamentation on it is different. Ooh. This was maybe Caliburn in its earlier life, before it got prettied up. But its true nature, the idea of its creation, and its soul are too close to those of this sword.
まさかこの剣の原型
Can't be. This sword's model.
そうだ。だが宝具としての精度は比べるまでもないぞ。
It is, but its strength as a noble phantasm is incomparable.
お前が持つ王を選定する岩に刺さった剣は北欧に伝わる支配を与える木に刺さった剣が流れたものだが、これはその原型。
What you have,
王を選定するという
the sword
聖
in the
剣の
stone.
大元だ。
That took a while for him to say. That's a lot of lines. What you have, the sword in the stone, originated from the legend of the Sword of Supremacy in the tree. Did it? That's interesting. From Northern Europe. But this is the original model, the foundation of the sacred right to select the king. Did you have to pull this to become the original King of Kings? I don't think so. So the Sword of the Stone used to be the Sword of Supremacy in the tree. Interesting. These are the steps Shiro always mention when he's doing the projection magic. Judging the concept of creation. Hypothesizing. I know words. Hypothesizing the basic structure, duplicating the composition material, imitating the skill of its making, sympathizing with the experience of its growth, reproducing the accumulated years, excelling every manufacturing process. Oh, those are the steps? Has he said those before? I didn't know that those were the steps to creation. Okay. Interesting. So he's going past duplicating the composition material and gone into imitating the skill of its making. Or no, he's gone into number 5, sympathizing with the experience of its growth. So next would be reproducing the accumulated years, whatever that means, and then excelling every manufacturing process. The Sword of Supremacy in the tree. Gram. Oh, what? Are we saying it's the same sword? We're saying, wait, so in this universe, Caliburn is Gram? The Sword of Supremacy in the tree. Gram, the demonic sword of Sigurd. It's a demonic sword? What? Hero of Northern Europe, its original model? It was a demonic sword before it became the holy sword Sigurd? Is there any truth to that, or is that a bullshit made up by fate? That sounds like some fate bullshit. He said them a lot of time. It makes sense to ignore it as magic baby. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, he says all those whenever he does it, but he just normally doesn't get that far.
子は親には勝てん。天輪を続けるごとに劣化する複製は原型にはかなわぬということだ。
Children cannot defeat their parents. An imitation, I think usually it's like a child will surpass their parent. That's usually like the moral, but children cannot defeat their parents. An imitation that deteriorates every time it is renewed cannot match the original model. Gilgamesh seems to be twisting the myth. Imitation that deteriorates every time it's renewed. But does it deteriorate or does it only get stronger? Because it feels like with Shiro, it's only getting stronger, baby. I feel like you're scared. You're scared of his power, and so, all you're doing is relying on what you can do. Even though it's maybe still not as strong as the real Caliburn. Things get better as they pass the generations, not worse. That's how, the march of humanity, the march of progression. Oh boy, light runs. Although even if my sword is better, he's still the better fighter for sure. The sword understands better than anything that this is the same attack that terminated Berserker in one slash. Okay. Even though it's coming from the demonic side this time. You mean the sword that killed him like 4 times in one, or cheated, or whatever that was? It must be protecting its owner. The sword in my hand goes for the enemy's sword in its utmost power. The name of the noble phantasm is Caliburn, and the golden sword of assured victory, but victory doesn't seem assured in this case. It is destroyed without a trace by the sword called Marduk, the original sin. Wait, it's Marduk? Huh? Gilgamesh seems to really want to hammer age equal power, because he's the first king. He wants to reaffirm his ego, yeah. The children can't be the parents. I was the original king. No new king can be better than me. But, unfortunately, the way it usually works, despite how much he might want to not affirm this, usually, later generations only ever surpass the former. Sometimes there are like big bangs that reset everything, but generally speaking, usually things only get better with time. Despite what they'd have you say about a long time ago when they had lightsabers before things got boring and just humanity got boring and lost their lightsabers. I destroyed my country. Yeah, well, he does what he wants with it. It's his country, right? Also, wait, is this supposed to be Graham or is it Marduk or is it both? Destroyed without a trace by the sword called Marduk, the original sin. But then he was fucking like, no, it's not. This is Graham, the demonic sword of Sigurd. Which is it? Is it Graham or is it fucking Marduk or is it both? I don't know. I don't know, myths. Oh, fuck. I hear something sliding on the ground. Sliding. Is it your body being slid into multiple pieces before you regenerate like an awesome guy? I mean, if you're gonna whip out your super inner servant, now's the time. It's the ground of the park slippery because it's level? Or is it slippery because your body's cut in half? I slide across the ground and finally come to a stop. Sounds like a body cut in half.
Shiro.
That sounds like oh no, he just got his body cut in half. That voice makes me realize I'm still alive. I feel like you could have figured that out on your own, but again, you're a saber-sexual, so maybe everything has to revolve around him. Her. Whatever. He's a him in the legend. Ugh.
なんだ、セイバー。割と近くに。
Oh, Saber. You're pretty near me. Also, you're still pretty, by the way. You're still really pretty. Thinking so, I'm relieved. You're not going to be relieved once you realize the state your body's in. They're holding it out for this long. I'm pretty sure I'm right that he's severed his body limbs in some fashion. Felt like I was blown away, but it's fine if Saber's nearby. So all I have to do is get up and I can run to Saber. You don't have legs anymore, buddy. Are I look at my arm while I stay on the ground. Oh, maybe you have legs but don't have arms? That's not what I expected. Maybe your sword arm got cut off. That would actually be not as bad as what I was expecting. It's red. My arm is surrounded by a red membrane and there's no blood coming out of it. Wait, what? My arm is surrounded by a red membrane and there's no blood coming out of it. What are we saying? Are we saying his sword, his arm didn't get chopped off? The way that's worded is weird. No blood? Are we saying his arm got, like, surrounded by some kind of red shielding thing? that is coming out of the realness of his spirit? Is his spirit awakening? Is that what's happening, or am I reading this all wrong?
動くな。もういい。いいから動かないでくれ。シロ。
Do not move. Please, don't move, Shiro. I can hear Saber's voice. I think his arm is cut off and he's just looking at the remains. Okay, I was reading into that all wrong. Like, that did not sound like that's what it read membrane. There's no blood, though. There should be blood gushing out of his socket, at least. Unless he's just a head. He survived that before, technically, with Ilia's magic. It seems my body's been injured. Yeah, a little bit. That attack. I'm sure it was blown away by Gilgamesh's sword. So the wound must be... Oh, I see. Now I understand why Saber's acting like that. I can only move my right hand. And what, your left hand is your good hand? You're left-handed? Uh-oh. My left hand won't move. First of all, I don't know what's happened to it. I think it's gone, buddy. I think you're a righty now. I can't even breathe. Diagonally down from my left shoulder. As my body is cut from the shoulder down, it's separated like Lego pieces that don't fit together. Uh-oh. Diagonally down from the left shoulder, which means you're missing your left leg too. Oh boy. Yeah, that's not pretty. Shiro's, now's the time to wake up the inner servant. If not, we're pretty fucked. Or, you know, Saber, if you want to do a shonen power-up, you could do that too, I guess. But I feel it's more likely Shiro's going to do it. Or maybe this is just, you know, how this pathway ends. Maybe it's a terrible, no good, very bad ending. I wasn't confident we'd beat Archer like this. We did not seem prepared. Outside of a last minute Shiro's actually epic, I don't see it happening. And don't get me wrong, Shiro's been pretty epic, but he needs to be far more epic. It looks like a ginkgo leaf. Oh, that's funny. I like ginkgo leaves. Or is it ginkgo? How do you pronounce it? I don't remember at the moment. I've been cut from my shoulder down to my waist. It's strange that I'm alive. That's funny. That miracle should soon run out, right? That's how life works. Does it work? Do you even work like that, Shiro? Do you work like that? Because really, honestly, the way you are, a normal person would probably be dead, but debatable. Maybe for like an instant and then it'll be over. You'd probably be dead, though. Obviously, you're not a normal person, but are you not normal enough to survive this for a long amount of time? Sure, right now can like contend with a normal servant, but Gil is Gil. Yeah, even a normal servant's a bit much. I don't think he could beat a normal servant. Maybe, like, you know, with the weapon, I feel like he'd still be on the losing end. But he needs to, yeah, he definitely needs to go much further beyond. I'm barely conscious right now, and my vision narrows by the second. First of all, my insides will fall out if I move. That sounds bad. Where is Rin? Is she just at home? If I'm remembering correctly, Rin's at home watching over Ilia, who's passed out. So I feel like it's unlikely that she comes in to save me, but not impossible. That might be one way that this is not a completely over playthrough, but it really feels like... It feels like this was the moment. If Shiro was going to whip out some epicness, this was the moment. So, I could be wrong. Maybe Rin runs in, but what is Rin going to fucking do to distract Gilgamesh long enough? To distract him long enough from maybe, like, if Saber gives up herself, he'll let Shiro go, and Shiro's natural healing ability will save him, while Saber is off-screen getting raped by Gilgamesh. That could be one way to bring us in for the finale and really get him pumped to actually become epic. So that's one thing. Ilia's awake. She was complaining about dinner, and that led to Rin waking Shiro up, and he realized Saber is still out. Oh, okay. Ilia did wake up. Well, that's good to know. Maybe Ilia and Rin together can do something. It's just hard to say, because Ilia, usually she's prepared for everything, but she doesn't know anything about this Archer. So that might be, you know, I could see that being how we don't end here, is Saber gives herself up, says, I'm all yours, Archer, to save Shiro, to finally give in to her feelings to Shiro, by essentially giving herself up, giving up her dream, thinking that she's giving it up, at least for now, or trusting that Shiro will save her later. Do that whole thing, become an actual damsel in distress. And Shiro, they'll just leave him to die, but he won't die because he's bullshit. And then he'll come back later. That seems like the only real way out of this scenario if he's not going to awaken to his super-powered alter ego right now. But even then, that seems like delaying the inevitable. I feel like he needs his super alter ego. I don't think Saber's going to beat Gilgamesh, if I'm being honest. At least not without great support with me, which I'm not providing at the moment. We at least need to learn how to choreograph, how to work together as a duo, because it seems like we have the power of love making ourselves stronger, but we're not really practicing fighting as a team, which we might need to do now that Shiro's actually better at fighting. It's hard considering how much they don't want each other to get hurt, but I feel like that's the next step if they get the chance. I don't think they will at this point. Maybe I'm already dead and my mind is lingering like a ghost.
Maybe you were always a ghost.
なんだ、見事に散らばったと思ったが存外にしぶといのだな。なるほど、生き汚さだけが雑種の取り柄というわけか。
I see. I thought you'd be scattered, but you're rather tough. Yeah, you'd think something like that would scatter him to pieces, but it didn't because he's fucking crazy immortal or something. I see. Clinging to life is the only merit of a low life. Mm-hmm. Now I'm back to talking down like I usually do. He laughs. Of course he does. He's impressed. He's impressed at you not scattering. Good job, Shiro. Good job at your ant abilities to not die instantly, What did they say? The only thing that would survive a nuclear thing? Is it an ant or a termite? I don't remember my insect facts. Honestly, I'm thankful. Laughing at least, laughter can heal all wounds. Isn't that like a thing? The more irritating he is, the more my mind stays conscious. Oh, well, okay, there's that too.
だがそこまでだ。貴様に獅子は似合わん。その女は俺がもらう。
But that is all. A lion doesn't suit you. I'll take that woman. You can have your stupid lion. Saber is a dragon, and I'm the one who's gonna ride the dragon. I'm gonna rock the dragon. I've already had dragon sex with her after all. Footsteps. Now's the time. Either he has to wake up his super alter ego, Saber has to give herself up to give me time to bring into a different closing, or this is just it. I don't think Rin and Ilya coming in is going to change anything. Rin and Ilya might come in to try to save us. Saber's still going to have to give herself up, though. I feel like that's the only two paths this has, if we're not just ending right here. Is superpowered evil side, or Saber gives in to him. The sound of walking to obtain Saber for sure this time. Hello, sure, yeah, woo. Big choice time, big choice time. Do we stand, or do we stay down like a fucking pussy? Are we gonna be a fucking pussy, guys? Stand up for the girl or don't stand up? I mean, you're pretty fucked at this point. Normally, I would stay down like a fucking coward, but he's already so fucked gone. If he doesn't stand up, if he doesn't keep standing up till death at this point, then I feel like he's failing Saber. Like, to just let that happen to Saber, especially if I was to roleplay him, and not standing up, what does that do? He's gonna fuck up Saber, and, I mean, from my perspective, I can tell Shiro's got the super-powered regeneration. Shiro, I think, is too stupid to realize this. So if I was Shiro and too stupid to realize that, I would stand up. If I realized that I had regeneration, I might not stand up because, honestly, I would want my survival. But if I was Shiro and had my own mindset, I'd be like, I like my life over Saber's. I can be a nice person, but I'm not that selfless. Granted, if it was me, we wouldn't have gotten to this situation in the first place, I'd argue, but I can go into that whole thing. I would think we got to stand up, given the circumstances. If we don't stand up, I feel like we're going against every every emotion Shiro has had, and I don't think it would lead to anything good. I put power in my right hand. I grab the ground and raise my half-sliced body. Yeah, that's not normal. No normal human could ever fucking do that. Shio for the first time is actually acting for someone else's sake for real. Oh, it's playing the song. The reminiscing song. The first ever song. It was a shot like lightning. Uh-huh. First time acting for someone else. Yeah, don't let that go. You know, you might be evil on the inside, but at least you're evil with the hots for a good person. Dash, dash, dash. I see Saber's face for an instant. She looks like she's about to cry. I'm proud of myself for falling in love with her. Aw, that's cute. Hold on. I'm not done yet. It might be cliche, but at this point, buddy, Gilgamesh, at least do the courtesy of killing him before you fuck up Saber, because... Then again, Saber wouldn't like to see it, but it would be putting him out of his misery at this point, so... I'm not done yet. I raise my body with one arm. My legs won't move. One of them is probably not even connected to my body. The magical energy that forced my body to move is depleted. The only thing remaining is my beating heart and my organs screaming in pain.
ほう、未練か。だろうな。あれはお前には過ぎた宝だ。その気持ちはわからんでもない。ならばこそ他の男の手に奪われるのは悔しかろう。
You know, they do have some camaraderie having the same taste in women. Oh, lingering affection? I would assume so. This treasure's beyond you. I understand how you must feel. It must be really vexing to have been taken away by another man. That does it! I can't stand his talking anymore!
だから、奪うとか、奪われるとか、セイバーを物みたいに。
I'm saying, don't talk like you're treating Saber as an object. Yeah, something he fought to go against for the longest time. She kept feeling herself as just a weapon, just a weapon. And then she was like, you're more than that, you're a real girl. And now this asshole comes in and is like, oh, she's not a weapon, she's a pleasure tool. And I'm going to make the full use out of her. And that's, of course, even worse than if she was just a weapon, but... It's nice how it comes full circle. There is some narrative through lines here. I like it. I put power into my right arm. Is there metal in it? With a creaking noise, my body reacts to my wishes. I get up on one knee, the one I have left. Damn it, body. Do as I tell you. I put power into my body. As I do so, the things I need to live flow out. Don't need those anymore, I guess.
なぜもう無理だとどうしてわからないのです
Why do you understand that it's useless now? I won't understand because I'm in love, baby. Madly in love, crazy in love. I won't stop till me or the thing of my love is gone, pretty much. That's how crazy love works. Saber's voice is almost insulting. How dare you challenge my love? Are you saying you like his crazy love better? She's a long way away. From a distant place, she is watching me in vexation. That's a narrative turn, because she was supposed to be right next to you, and now suddenly she's far away. That shouldn't technically be true, but I think before it was literal, and now it's metaphorical. Or rather, it's comparative. Before, it's like, oh, she's close by, but now that he actually has to get to her, it's like, holy shit, she's far away! I ignore it and keep trying. Saber's voice is just a burden. Not my body, nor Gilgamesh, but Saber is my greatest enemy now. Because if she objects with an expression like that, my mind will die. Finally, my knee finally has strength, so all that's left is to stand.
いらない あなたの助けなどいりません。敗北した以上、私はすでにあなたの剣ではないんです。
That hurts to say. Oh, no, I do not need your help. As I've been defeated, I am not your sword anymore. That was their pact from the very beginning. I will be your sword, or whatever. And I know that he never wanted her to be a weapon, but she valued herself as his weapon, and now she's taking even that away. Oof, it's all coming full circle.
このまま消えるのがサーバントとして当然の結末ではないですか。
Disappearing like this is the natural end for a servant. You haven't disappeared yet. Until you disappear, you're at the very least my sword, if not my fuck buddy. Saber's voice. That annoying thing. Damn. If she interrupts me anymore, I'll get mad even at her.
ただ、やめてください、シロ。それ以上はダメだ。本当に死んでしまう。
No. Please stop. Please stop,
こんなことで
Shiro.
あなたに死なれたら、私は。
You can't go on. You'll really die if you die here. Okay, that was some good acting there. Okay, now the acting is picking up. If you die here, I will. You will what? You'll really have fallen in love for me? Say it, you bitch! I mean, now's an awkward timing, but I mean, they do say confessions come out like, you know, times like this, so if it's gonna come out, make it come out, and then maybe that'll wake up my superpowered evil side, because if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen soon! If we want to avoid this bad ending, this is gonna be the way. Fucking confess your damn love for me, Saber! How can she say such selfish things without knowing how I feel?
うるさい。いいから少しは黙ってろ。こういう時くらい頼っていいんだよ。
Shut up.
お前は
Just be quiet for a second. Even now you fucking call her oh my, you fucking prick. Or maybe now, because it's now, you call her oh my. Just be quiet for a second. At times like this, you can rely on me, you damn woman!
それは違う、シロ。優先順位を間違えないでほしい。
That is not true, Shiro. Please do not get your priorities wrong.
私の身などどうでもいい。そんなものより、あなたは自身の命を第一にするべきだ。
My life is not important. You should put your life rather than mine first, so then such a thing even. She sounds like she's begging. My mind almost collapses thinking that I'm making her sound like that. But still.
断る。俺にはセイバー以上に欲しいものなんてない。
I refuse. There's nothing I want more than you, even if I have to treat you like an object now. I can't accept her words. What? Saber looks at me in astonishment. I don't know why she looks like that. But I remember. She told me I was a fool who didn't know the value of his own life. That's why we had this fight in the first place. I think she's right. I don't. And I don't want to, not if this is what it means. It's too conceited for someone who can't even think about himself to try to help someone else. All of a sudden you have self-realization, Shiro? I feel at the end of the day, this pathway isn't about the Grail War or the powers. It's all a set piece for the relationship with the people in the war. Yeah, very much so. Everything else is just backdropping. This is all about the love triangle happening right here. That's just complacent happiness. It's an unstable happiness for the other party. The most important person is yourself. At least that should be true. And yet you've never felt that way, Shiro. Not once, have you? That kind of person probably can become happy and share their happiness.
俺は確かに自分の命を感情に入れてない。大バカだ。
I'm certainly a fool who doesn't consider his own life. And I'll continue to be a fool to the end. It's too late now, after all. My mind really is squirting with this. It's knocking me out. Ooh. I was wrong about what's most important for me. Since that day, that seat has been empty. Yeah, what you thought was most important was like, I look up to the person, you know, my daddy, or, you know, the fire. That was the most important moment in my life. No, Saber is the most important. That seat has been empty. But I'm grateful for that abnormality. Because in that empty seat is sitting a person I want to save more from the bottom of my heart.
けどな、セイバー。もし俺が自分の命が一番大事だったとしても。
But Saber,
変わらない。
This wouldn't change even if I did value my life above all. Yeah, because if you loved yourself the most, it would just give you room to love Saber more. And you know, in this value, what kind of man would you be if you just let her go? That's not the real way of the whatever.
きっとそれ以上にセイバーは綺麗なんだ。
You're more beautiful than that.
なんて俺の中には一つもない。
I've gotten bad since the, since the hiatus of finding, I used to be really good about sensing when the line breaks, where I gotta get back into the mindset of, that's a period, that means it's gonna take a break. I gotta get that back into that. Whew! There's nothing inside me that can take your place. That makes me realize I didn't feel sympathy for her. Oh? No, to feel sympathy, you have to like yourself more than her. The girl I saw in my dream. She fought alone and died alone. Oh, yeah. I mean, how can you feel sympathy when you are who you are? I thought she was unrewarded, but at the same time, I was charmed by her. I just thought she was beautiful. How dare you, Shiro, for not thinking more than her? You should have felt sympathy. You should have felt, no, I have to save you. All you did was watch how pretty she was. Watch her to the end, like a terrible person you are, Shiro. She pulled out the sword and ran through her life without looking back. Her life itself was so brilliant.
そうだ。
That's right, so...
だから
Dakara! I have to protect her. So that you all alone won't be engulfed in darkness in your last moments. You can be together in the end. You who doesn't value yourself, she who doesn't value herself, at least you can not value yourselves together. This is making me shake. That's right. So in your last moments, on the verge of your death, that you can be proud of your life. Who are you talking to? Her or yourself? My doubts disappear. Ooh, if your doubts disappear, this is when your life would disappear. If your will isn't hanging on anymore, then my path is so clear.
ごめんな。俺セイバーが一番好きだ。
Sorry. I like you the most, Saber.
だからあんな奴にお前は渡さない。
So I won't give you to a guy like him. Even if I have to kill you myself. I don't think you're gonna go there. No. After I say that, I regret apologizing to her. Why? Because you realized you have no choice? I had to say it. Because you know how fucked up it's gonna be when you get killed and she's still forced upon her without being able to struggle anymore? I wanted to say it now at this moment because there'd be no impurities mixed in my words. Oh, you apologize because you can still never allow yourself to like yourself. You can't let yourself like yourself that much to say that you deserve to say that you like her, but you still did. Sarah wishes he was like Saber, like Archer, like Kiritsugu. At the very end, he finally did become a hero of justice for one person. And hey, that's what Kiritsugu said. If all you can save is one person, you did a good job. But he is not succeeding. He's failing. So, you know. He did already save a whole bunch of people, to be fair. He just didn't fucking give a shit. This would be someone he'd give a shit about. And of course, the karma is, you don't care about the people you do save. You only care about the people you don't save. Dash, dash. I hear her gasp. I want to turn around and see, but I won't, since I can't really see anymore. You lost your eyesight? I get up. I can still fight if my heart is beating. How the fuck is it beating anyway? My magical energy is my life. And you've got a lot of fucking magic. As long as my heart is beating, as long as my magic is beating, I'll keep on recreating her sword. They open.
よく立った。で、その後は何があるのだ?
Well done. Nice confession. So now what? What can you do now, you worm? I feel a burning heat on my right hand. Perhaps because I'm close to death. I remember 10 years ago. Ooh, that, what's that called? The special year, the special moment. It's a terrible illusion. At least I don't think we've been dropping any frames since the little break. 5,000, 30 frames a second, 310 seconds, 3,100 seconds, so... We were offline for a couple minutes, maybe. Anyways. I'm shaking. I'm literally shaking at this point. Oh, I think I'm getting into it so much that I'm shaking. Ooh. It's a terrible illusion. My body feels like it's still in that fire, reaching out for life. But whose life are you reaching out for? Yours or someone else's?
うせろ。お前にセイバーは任せられない。
That sounded confident and without the injury he had before. Go away. I can't give Saber to you. I can kind of hear the Sasuke in it now that I'm thinking about it. I raise my right hand and say that.
たわけ。誰が貴様の許しを得るか。
Fool, I do not need your consent. A child merely needs the consent of their parent, but as I am everyone's parent, I need no man's consent. The enemy raises his sword.
Shiro!
Get down, Shiro! Does it even matter? I mean, maybe he can die for realsies if he hasn't already, but I feel like he would have died for realsies already. I hear Saber's voice from behind me. Finally, you're blocking her like you always wanted to. But is it too little too late? I ignore it, and using my remaining magical energy, I project the sword once more. This sounds like, you know, the definition of insanity, man. Doing the same thing, expecting a different result. It's whack. To paraphrase one of the Far Cries. It's Far Cry, right? I don't know. Never played a Far Cry, but I know the quote. I know what the quote is quoting. Anyways. And I'm stopped by that light. By what light? Is it Gilgamesh's light of chaos, or is it Saber's light of actually using her own shonen powers because of her love for you? Feels like she doesn't have as many shonen powers as you do. Or is it your light of actually making Excalibur instead, or you could make both, or what's the dealio? Even though it's not as strong as Excalibur, the light that can burn away everything it touches is coming for me. Are you talking about Gilgamesh's weapon? Because I feel like that's stronger than Excalibur, even if the light isn't as strong. Dash, dash. Feeling the heat on my body, I don't think about my death, but about Saber behind me. Dash, dash, dash. She'll be dragged in like this. Okay, before we come in for the big finale, I do actually have to fucking take a piss again. Oh boy. Is this the end? I mean, I feel like we've hit a couple climaxes. It hasn't quite ended yet, but this feels like the final. She'll be dragged in like this. So I have to at least protect her. I said I'd protect Saber. Yes, I wanted to protect her. She's strong, but at the same time, she could have broken down at any moment. So I have to hold steady. She could have broken down at any moment? I mean, she already got beaten, so what do you mean by broken down at any moment? I'm not quite sure what that means. You mean could have broken down her walls, given in to Gilgamesh's demands? Maybe that's what he means. She's like a drawn sword, so I have to help her so she doesn't get hurt. A drawn sword? Wait, you just described her as like a tool, the thing that you wouldn't want to normally call her. Wait, is it her light? Is she the one getting involved in this with Excalibur? I don't fully understand, but okay. Oh fuck, that's Excalibur. And then... Before I realize that there's something like a sword in my right hand. You got the other sword. You got Caliburn for your left and now Excalibur in your right? Now that you've lost your left hand? A sword, and yeah, there was a sheath on it. It seemed like there was a sheath, even though... Wasn't there the whole thing about how Excalibur's sheath was like fancy pants? Hold on. Saber. Details. The real king of Papatipata. One of who pulled out the sword and was given the knight's throne through many adventures. Child of and the wife of his... As the prince from the probably trusted Lord Arthur was adopted. The day of battle followed the sword and became king. The greatest of the knights and the hero. Arthur's all too famous sword, the holy sword Excalibur, was not the chosen sword. Rather, it was the treasured sword of Fairyland given by the Fairy Lake under Merlin's guidance. After giving King Arthur the holy sword Excalibur, the princess The sword is just raw power, Excalibur me. So would this be Caliburn's sheath? Which is, lifelong enemy, Princess Morgana was, Rin was wondering why Saber wasn't just immortal. Oh, right, because she lacked the sheath of this sword. Because the sheath was stolen. So it could be that sheath. Is that the sheath of Excalibur or Caliburn? It's Caliburn's sheath? Order the king and Arthur, this king was your one step, so one of the three knights, the perfect knight Lancelot, did not make it to the Holy Grail. He was found from his lack of greed. And the legend marked King Arthur's life had been sought by many times. The older sister at the end of the battle. King Arthur's fall started when his most trusted knight Lancelot disappeared after he put to losing his trusted knight, losing the sheath of the holy sword. Which holy sword? Which sword is it that this is Caliburn's sheath? Even losing his own country, King Arthur faced his last battle in the land of Camelot. Holy sword Excalibur was entrusted to Sir King. He returned it to the land. He returned it to the Lady of the Lake. Arthur's corpse was carried by the land of his heroes. A legend is saying that King Arthur will awaken from his sleep. Arthur bears the red dragon that symbolizes the British people. He himself has the attributes of the dragon. Since he has the karma of the dragon, the embodiment of divine mystery, and he has strong. On the other hand, he is weak against heroes who have defeated dragons in the past. Because he's a dragon. She's a dragon, not a lion. The Sheath of Excalibur. Caliburn was broken way before the whole fall of Camelot. Right, okay. So, it's Excalibur that's super awesome, and the Sheath of Excalibur. So it could be Excalibur, the sword with the sheath on it. So that could be Excalibur with the full sword, with the immortal part. Which might make him immortal here too? Interesting. So the light might be coming from the Excalibur that he created, and it might have the sheath on it too, which will let him have immortality. And maybe, is that what's giving him the immortality in the first place? The sheath was inside him all along. There was a theory at one point, because the sheath was stolen, so there's the theory that he is the spirit of whoever stole that sheath. He's like a lecherous pervert who has a thing for Saber, and maybe there's a connection there. There's something like a sword in my right hand.
No.
That sounded like, that didn't sound like Shiro. Maybe I'm wrong. I guess it could have been Shiro. I feel like that could go both ways. That sounded like it could have been Gil's voice actor going, as if he's genuinely surprised, which I think he would be. What? Whose voice was that? That sounded like Gilly's. The hesitation is only for an instant. At the same moment, the Golden Knight, the absolute victor, retreats. What? The Golden Knight? The Golden Knight, you mean Gilly, is retreating? Shiro, let you use the sword? This is kind of a weird circumstance. Like, you kind of have to just sort of guess what's happening. I don't necessarily hate it, though. I don't necessarily hate it. Saber takes my hand. Oh, she's up! And she's gonna use the sword with me? The rising light stops. Yeah, they were blind. He was blind literally, and metaphorically it made it blind to what was really going on. Yeah. He was like burning with hatred. He created the sword. It created light. He didn't know where the light came from. He heard a nani. It was definitely Gilly's nani now that I think about it. He didn't know how to deal with it. And then fucking Saber comes up, and I guess she's up and at him too. Maybe because of the sheath's powers, and then helps him out, and they win? Did they just win in some weird, hard-to-follow scenario? I don't think so. But let's see the circumstance. Right beside me is Saber. Right before me is Gilgamesh, opening his eyes and bleeding. Well then, you left a mark. You left a mark. You made, I think, Excalibur again. Gilgamesh was not prepared for it, didn't have his weapon ready because he was not taking you seriously. So there's a weakness. Hey, that's fitting. His overconfidence is his biggest weakness, if anything. He brought out the sword earlier to deal with Excalibur, but he did not see Shiro having it coming, and he thought that even Caliburn was just a pale imitation, so he didn't expect something this strong. But with the power of love bullshit, and Saber assisting, so she was able to come back into the fight despite how fucked up she seemed. Managed to make a mark. I doubt this will be a victory, but it might be enough for both of us retreat for now, which means this path might go on a little bit longer. Oh, fuck. Yeah, you left a mark. This is going to be the first time we might see him with his height faltering. How do you react to a situation like this, Mr. King of Kings? He looks furious. Is it with anger? Anger until you start actually losing? Because you could call that a fluke and just be angry about it. But once you start losing, will it still be anger, or will it change to, like, despair? I don't know what happened. Yeah, I think I barely followed. But I know this is a repeat of the battle against Berserker. Is it? I mean, isn't in that battle, when the two of you, like, joined forces with the epic Caliburn attack, he died. Gilgamesh is not dead. Saber used something I made and defeated Gilgamesh's sword. Oh, did Gilgamesh... Was he using his sword? Really? Was that what the blinding light was? He was just gonna kill you? Oh. And Excalibur beat it because it was your version of Excalibur? Your version's even stronger than her version because it's complete and has the sheath? Maybe that's why you beat it out? You could also argue, power of love, they worked together so it was stronger. But I like to think there's more science. So I like to think that he made it to be better than what actually Saber has because he's OP and stuff. And that's why it ended up being better than his sword. And Gilgamesh probably was not expecting it and didn't think he had to use the full power. A light pushed back his light and must have injured him, who was unscathed up till now. Uh-huh. Gilgamesh was afraid of Excalibur before seeing what Saber did. This must have been what he feared? And yet it didn't happen before. But now with Shiro it's happening! What are you thinking, Shiro? What are you feeling? Are you in one piece again? Are you still just half a man? Dash, 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 dash. A frighteningly murderous intent. Oh, yeah, he's furious. You know, if this had happened with Saber, he might have been like, impressive, Saber, impressive! Now the fight really begins. But the fact that this happened with Shiro... You are not worthy to injure him, Shiro. Shiro's all about giving the last things to Saber. Her emotions, her womanhood, her swords, and now her sheath. He feels like he needs to kill everything he sees in order to calm down. You have very much a Vegeta level of pride, I would say, although I'd argue your pride is more warranted than Vegeta's, but yeah, I guess a Vegeta reaction sounds about right. You just want to kill something to make yourself feel better. But the Golden Knight leaves silently. What? He just backs away and leaves? What? Since fucking when? He's got to be on orders from Kirei then. Didn't we have a prediction about that earlier? That I thought, oh, there's no, he would be working alone. He said he was working with someone? Did he say he was working with someone? If he said he was working with someone, he's probably working with Kirei. But, like, he looks so furious. There's no way he backs down here unless he's, like, on orders. And if he's on orders, how the fuck is Kirei, what is Kirei promising him? I just do not see him backing away in this circumstance. Is he really humble? I don't think he's humble enough to actually give what just happened, take it seriously. I'd be surprised. He really just leaves? That seems so out of character from what I thought he would do. It seems restrained, which makes me think he's taking orders from Kirei, and Kirei's got him on some kind of schedule, and the reason that, he was going to do this all casually and not take it too seriously, but he probably has an appointment and something Kirei wants him to do by a certain point, and he was just doing this on the way or something. But now that he's seeing that this fight might be something he has to take seriously, he just has to leave and go do Kirei's business? That's an idea. I don't know. Or maybe he genuinely is taking them seriously. I don't think so. I feel like he's way too fucking overconfident for that. Maybe he saw something. Maybe he saw the inner Shiro. Maybe he saw the Holy Spirit inside him, and it's like, oh fuck that. Shiro, what the? Like, he realized the truth of what Shiro is, and that's why he's taking him seriously? That would be the only reason I could think of why he would actually take Shiro seriously. Because even with that big hit, I feel like Gilgamesh's response would be, that's a fluke, I have to fucking kill this fucker for insulting me. But he didn't. So. I don't even have time to be surprised. I don't know why he left. But even my fading mind knows that the battle is over. My knees give away. Hey, Saber, you willing to be my waifu now? Are you willing to be my waifu after what I just did for you? Please, 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 please. Don't do your dumb wish. Don't do your dumb wish. All tension disappears and my body falls to the ground.
Shiro!
Saber instantly supports me. You're damn right she does. You couldn't protect me, but I protected you. I mean, you did help me out, to be fair. I mean, you took the sword with me, so it was a team effort. But, like, I made the third in the first place. With Saber supporting me, I look down at my body. Ooh, are we gonna get an image of this? Nah, just blood splatters. I let out a gasp. My wounds are so bad they cannot be treated. Who needs them to be treated? They were too bad to be treated last time with Berserker too, and you got better anyways. My body, cut from the left shoulder, should have died instantly. But it didn't. Are you gonna realize now how fucked up and special you are yet? Oh, this is too... I must be barely alive because of that healing power, but it must have its limits. So I guess you know some of... I guess you know some of your healing power. You've already talked with Rin about it, but I suppose you don't understand. Yeah, she said you can't rely on it because you don't know the full extent, but... you still don't understand why you have it. At first you thought you had it because of your connection to Saber, but, you know, now we're like, no, it's not because of that, because your circuit was cut off in the first place anyways, but... I must be barely alive because of that hearing power, but it must have its limits. She was all... the fight was a lot better than the forest fight, because it used established stuff, and Gil legit took, like, a scratch, even with all the struggle. Oh yeah, it was definitely better than the forest fight, you know, because... They set up a rule with Berserker where they're like, he has this many lives and you have to kill him this many times, and he's never killed twice by the same thing. And then they just kill him, like, kill 4 of his lives in one. Like, why do you say he has that many lives? So that was always gonna make that fight kind of but yeah, this one, you know, they didn't win. It just took him. It had some similar tempo, but also there was more investment, I feel, from the love triangle side, and this is really coming to a head of a lot of the build-up between their character relationships, so it's stronger for a few reasons, definitely. My body is almost split in two. I'm sure nothing will be able to fix my body now. Just need some good old R&R, and I think you'll be fine. I'm gonna be honest. You say it has its limits, but until the game fucking proves me wrong, I just assume you're immortal beyond getting killed by another servant, maybe. I can't even tell if I'm still breathing or not. My consciousness is starting to fade. The end is near. Is it? Press X to doubt. But the fortunate thing is about Saber. I have a fatal wound, but it seems Saber is just fatigued. And hey, maybe that means Ilya can take over. She'd say that if anything happened to me, that she'd take over. Well, I mean, to be fair, Rin probably wanted to play the long game and take over. That was probably her plan, which is why he was so peeved when Ilya came into the picture, but I'd rather trust Saber to Ilya. Because I like Ilya more, so, you know. Despite the fact that Rin in some ways wanted Saber all along, so. She's unarmed now and her wounds are completely healed. Yep, she was fucked up, but she was only like a little more than Berserker level fucked up, so not quite on my level of fucked up. She's unarmed, but her wounds are completely healed. Not literally unarmed, you mean no weapons unarmed, not actually unarmed. So, Even if I retire now, Tosaga should be able to do something. Oh, why do you have to say Tosaga? I want Ilya to take her. I'd prefer Ilya. Well, whatever. Hey, though, at least you're okay with... I mean, of course you are, because you've never cared about yourself. I would say it's mature to be okay with Tosaka or Ilya taking over and to sacrifice yourself like this. But that's only mature when you like yourself in the first place and you do value yourself and understand what value you're losing. You fail to understand what value you're losing, so it's not quite the same thing. That sound again. A sound as if my bones are creaking is coming from my body. Are they coming apart or coming back together? I look down at my wound. What? That sounds like a I'm regenerating kind of what. There are many swords. Oh, fuck. What? Is your body, like, made of swords? And they're coming... That was what the metal was? The metal sounds wasn't just your body, you know, aligning properly to, you know, structure your body. Or maybe it was, but it structured it more than you thought. And, you know, your body got... What? That's some interesting sword birth. Looks like the blades of swords are layered on top of each other and crowding together to connect my separated body, making that sound. Wait, you mean your fucking two pieces are coming back together because a bunch of swords? I don't think Saber's doing that, is she? That's like crazy. That suggests some really fucked up shit about you, Shiro. I mean, there was already some suggestion, but this is a very specific suggestion. I don't know what it's inferring exactly. Maybe if I knew more lore, I could guess what this is inferring to what spirit he secretly is. Because, I mean, come on, he's gotta be. But, I feel dizzy. It feels like every bone in my body, every muscle in my body is made out of swords. Maybe it's literally true at the moment. When you harden your body to make it work, maybe that's what happened with it. Maybe that's why it didn't spatter into a million pieces and only a couple. Because it was so hard that it was like swords. And now the swords are reconnecting. Now that... Oh, that's fucking weird. Well, Shiro, looks like your healing power is stronger than you fucking thought. There's no such thing. It must have been my imagination, as my body is just fine. Okay, I guess the swords have finished. And now you're okay. Is your body just fine, as in you have your left side of your body intact? Don't try to fucking write that off as your imagination. Oh, when I thought I lost my arm for a second, it must have just been delusional because of the blood loss. That came from you losing your arm. As proof of that, my separated body is starting to connect and my cuts are healing quickly. It must have been your imagination? I don't think so. I think that was what you did when you did your magic circuit and you're like, oh, I'm gonna harden my body. You turned your body innards into like swords and shit. Maybe the swords is different from your body reconnecting and that's just part of your regeneration and this is separate, but in which case you have two separate cool things. But, yeah, sure, you're not normal. I mean, we've already known that by now, but wow, you are quirky. It's more like restoration than healing. God, Rin got so fucked by using her healing on me, I feel. Because it was so unnecessary. I thought it was weird that Gable didn't kill me, if it was supposed to be a one-shot kill. It's because, like, it would have, but he didn't, because he's like immortal. And then he just came back, and he would have came back fine anyway, and she fucking wasted her shit on him. He did say he kept putting steel rods into his body when he was doing magic pre-Holy Grail War. Oh. Well, yeah, he was putting them into his body so that he could do the... Why did he do that? He did that in order to set up his magical circuit, because it wasn't... He couldn't use it. He didn't know how to do it the normal way. Now, I didn't fully understand if those steel rods, he just needed them for concentration, or if they actually went into him. If they did, that is definitely interesting. And though maybe his bones are mostly rods at this point, and they can turn into swords. This is more creepy than strange. What the fuck am I? Seems I'll be saved. But this is too...
よかった。この分なら死ぬことはなさそうですね。
Oh, don't you
Master.
fucking call me master in this situation. You don't fucking read the mood, damn it! You do not get to just backpedal and go, and now we're back to the way we were before I yelled at you at the date. I'm glad. It seems that you will not die, master. I'm glad too, but also... I'm weird, but also... We're doing the busy. You can't back away. I hear Saber's voice by my ear. It's really close by.
いや、それは助かるけど。
Well, that's
俺の体、
great,
一体
but what's going on? It's also possible that maybe the sheath, which he created, I don't know if it's still around, but maybe the sheath that he created gave him some of that immortality and stitched his body back together. He clearly already had the immortality, though, so that shouldn't have really been necessary. Trying to finish. I'm assailed by dizziness. Yeah, I think mass regeneration like that takes a toll on you. Then, my body's enclosed by soft arms. Oh, she's hugging me. That's cute.
セイバ
Oh, and you can see the lower part of him where he's super bloodied. Daw. Daw, that's cute. As I'm coming back together, giving me a nice huggy-wuggy.
いいえ、私には分かりました。傷が癒されるのは当然です。
No. I finally understand. It's only natural for your body to heal. What? Are you gonna say because... What? Why do you understand? Are we gonna find this out now? I thought this would be a bigger twist, but maybe not. Is it because of the sheath? Are you saying the sheath was inside you all along? Because I don't fucking know. Or did you just realize that I'm like a Holy Spirit too or something? It's okay to have a relationship with both Holy Spirits. I can't stay conscious. It's because I produce too much magical energy. My tired mind wants to sleep right now. Does Saber really know, or is she just guessing? Because I feel like if she knows, then the implication is the sheath was just inside him all along. But that, A, how? But also, it seems like it's more than that to me, but... How strong is she? Saber wraps her arms around me and holds me tight. Well, she's a proper heroic spirit, so her regeneration is rather fast. I mean, after all, with how strong you were, despite being cut in half, it's only fair she's strong for you at least in this way right now. If she didn't do at least this much, then, you know, what kind of servant would she be? Just wants to sleep, not wants to die. That's a good sign, at least.
やっと気づいた。シロは私の鞘だったのですね。
Are you just being metaphorical? I finally understand. You were my sheath, Shiro. Are you just being metaphorical? Like, sure, oh, he pulled out the sheath, but literally the sheath? Wraps around you, how strong is she? Can't stay conscious. Finally understand it's only natural for your body to heal. Is Shiro the spirit of the sheath? How the fuck does that make any sense? It's only natural for your body. I feel like she's just... I think she's making wrong assumptions or using pretty language. Because, like, how would the sheath even get inside him, for one thing? How would he be the sheath in the first place? And... I don't know. Secondly, like, yes, the immortality as a result of the shield, sheath. I think I did, you know, I don't know. I think I talked about how he might have been the dude that stole the sheath, and maybe he still is that dude. But I think that would make more sense to me. But the thing is, he made that sheath with his sword birth, right? Isn't that the theory? And if he did that, then it easily could have not been inside him and he just created it. Because this also suggests that if he can only create what's inside him, then he had Caliburn too. But Caliburn was broken, wasn't it? So I feel like she's inferring wrong, unless I'm missing something. She says so in a deep, seeping voice. The feeling is so comfortable that remaining consciousness fades away. I feel like either she's wrong or she's being metaphorical. I'm glad to be saved, and I let my body sleep. Before that, I complained to myself that it would have been more perfect if our positions were reversed. Of course, you fucking sexist pig. Although, the reason the positions are like this is because you're the one who saved her and is super bloodied and stuff. If she was the one who saved you, she'd be bloodied and you get to hug her. It's more likely it's being metaphorical. She is the sword, he is the sheath. Yeah, but he has a real weird thing going on with his regeneration. Don't throw me off, woman, by being like, that's why you regenerate. You're my sheath. Duh. He has a real thing going on, woman. Don't throw off my theories. Don't mess with me. I'm actually trying to figure out the real reason. It's a cute metaphor, but badly timed. Also, he's the sheath, she's the sword. Isn't it supposed to be the other way around? The man has the penis, the girl has the... Anyways. At the end, I see that red hill once more. Okay. A red memory. Okay, are we still Shiro? Game could be throwing us for a fast one, but he might just be sleeping. I dive deeper into her memory and I realize this is the last time. It is? A red memory. Interesting. These are the memories of a knight, which I have seen many times before. So this is, I'm pretty sure, Shiro. After becoming a king and becoming the will of the country by killing her own will, her days were filled with neglect, even from her trusted knights. Every time she won a battle, Artoria was made to wish for a battle she did not wish for. Yeah. She continued to hide her sex, surrounded by suspicion. What awaited this isolated girl was a rebellion by one of her relatives. Relatives? Not just friends? Relatives? Who are we fucking talking about? Who's the asshole? I think you just mean friends, like associates. I don't think you mean relatives. A young knight took over the country while the king was on an expedition. A young knight? Are we going to learn who this was? Lancelot left, so I don't think it's him. So who's this knight? The man's name was Mordred. Mordred. Okay. I know a lot of these names. I know the myth somewhat well. I don't remember anything special about Mordred, but I do remember the name. Interesting. Legendary hero. Does it say it in the legend here? Actually, I think it does. Come to think of it. The end of Arthur's life has been sought many times by the Princess Morgana. That's not Mordred, though. Oh, here it is. At the end of the battle between him and the knight Mordred, born from Princess Morgana's scheme. Oh, Mordred was born from Morgana's scheme? That's some interesting lore. Huh. So, the idea is that Mordred is not a normal knight, but a sleeper knight put in there by Morgana? Then it's not then it's not as bad as you thought. Wait, what? If this is true, between him and the knight Mordred, born from Princess Morgana's scheme, unless Mordred turned on him either because of Mordred's scheme, or he was born from Morgana in the first place, in either case, it wasn't really your subordinates turning on you. At least, not fully. It was because of Morgana's bullshit. Right? The man's name was Mordred. The knight who was son of Morgan, the sister of the King of Knights, was actually the son of the King of Knights. Hold on. What? That knight who was son of Morgan the sister of the King of Knights was actually the son of the King of Knights. Oh, I'm trying to understand what you're saying here. The man's name was Mordred, that knight who is son of Morgan. The sister of King of Knights is Morgan? The son of Morgan. So Mordred is a guy. He is a knight who is taking over the country. Mother is Morgan, not Morgana? Mordred was the son of Artoria? Wait, what? She's fucked? She's been busy with another man? But just for probably just for political reasons and she didn't actually like him? Wait, because that's right. Because he had a wife. But obviously he wasn't giving birth with any, wives. That knight who was the son of Morgan, the sister of King of Knights, was actually the son of King of Knights. Wait, what? This wording is really messing me up here. That knight who was son of Morgan. Mordred is son of Morgan. So, wait, but Morgan is not the King of Knights. Unless we're saying Morgan's actually a guy. And Artoria's a girl and they fucked that way. The sister of the... Hold on. If we go to status and look at the lore. It says he has a fuck buddy, right? I believe he's got a fuck buddy. And was neither round table. Arthur was the child of the King of Britain, Uther Pendragon, and the wife of his servant, the blue-eyed Ingrain. As a prince for Merlin's assistant, he had to keep up. I was probably Merlin de Baba, the days of the deeds of Camel, Bubajibudu. Arthur's all too fat, Princess wished in existence opposed to Vidian. Where's the king? King Arthur. Didn't he have a fuck buddy? I don't know, I give up. It's too much lore. That knight who was son of Morgan, the sister of King of Knights. So are we saying that Morgan, the sister of King of Knights is Morgan? So the King of Knights is Saber. So Morgan is Saber's sister. The knight who was son of Morgan was actually the son of the King of Knights. Okay, I think I understand what's happening here. Okay, that wording took a little while to parse, but I think what they're saying is that the man was Mordred. They said that he was the son of Morgan, Artoria's sister. But it turns out that he was actually the son of Artoria. Now, they can't say that he's the son of Artoria because Artoria can't have kids because he's not a girl or something. And, I mean, wouldn't he have a fake wife? Wouldn't it be, if anything, it'd be the other way around, where Morgan would have the kid, and they would just claim it's Arthur's because, Arthur's a woman or whatever, and can't have, she can have kids, but she can't have kids with a wife. Okay, so that's, I think if I'm parsing this text correctly, what they're saying. Mordred was the knight that was in charge. Mordred was the son of Morgan. Morgan is the sister of Artoria, but it turns out Mordred was not the son of Morgan. Mordred was actually the son of Artoria. Lore did say Mordred was born from schemes. So Mordred, they're saying Mordred is the son of Artoria, but he's actually born from schemes. So Artoria, what are we saying? To start at the end. Okay, yeah, alright. To start at the end, Artoria could not have children as a woman. That sounds about right. Okay. But Mordred certainly inherited the blood of Artoria. Because of magic? Artoria's older sister Morgan. Okay, I am not sure how far she went, but she despised Artoria. Oh, is this supposed to be Morgana and they're just calling her Morgan? She despised Artoria for becoming king, even though Artoria was younger than her. Also, I mean, you're both girls, so... Despised Artoria. Mordred was created as her other self. Ah. He served the king as a knight with an unknown father, waited for his chance to take over the throne, and finally organized a revolt. Actually a person. Schemes is actually a person, is the father of Mordred. That's funny. Yeah, but wait, so if Mordred is just... Hold on! Hold the fucking phone, then your wish is double bullshit, Saber. So if Morgan is your sister, and she's like your bitch sister or whatever, and she creates Mordred and somehow tricks you into thinking it's your kid or something like that, what? How does that fucking work? Artoria's older sister Morgan, I'm not sure how far she went, but she despised Artoria for becoming king, even though Artoria was younger than her. So, I feel like, doesn't this say Mordred is like a clone of Morgan, somehow? I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. It says here, Mordred was created as her other self. I'm thinking this means as Morgan's other self. He served as the king as a knight with an unknown father, waited for his chance to take over the throne, and finally organized a revolt. Because, like, this means that the reason that your thing went to shit at the end wasn't even because your people were stupid. It was because you had a bitch sister, not because of your people. So your wish is even dumber than it already was. Especially if you knew this much. Unless you didn't know this much, but I feel like you would have known this much. Or maybe you feel really bad about your sister, and that's why you want to undo everything, but, what, you want to let your sister become king? I mean, you know, you could like, oh, man, do a man's job, but the title is king, not queen. This was the battle, later known as the Battle of Comlan. So the question then becomes, is Mordred or Morgan... Morgan? Is Morgan supposed to be Morgana? Like just how we have Artoria instead of Arthur? Is it Morgan instead of Morgana? I don't know. Curious. Is Mordred or Morgan gonna play a role into the present, I wonder? Because they're both like jerk bitch faces, it seems. But, if we're talking about them in this backstory, is this just to talk up Saber? I don't think so. I feel like they'd be relevant in some way. Morgan is Morgana. That fucking messes with me. Just call her Morgana. I know Morgana in the lore, so the Morgan is messing with me, but... Okay. The final battle of King Arthur. King Arthur discovered Mordred's betrayal on her expedition and returned to her homeland with her tired troops to invade her own territory. So yeah, this is Morgana and Mordred's fault. You don't gotta blame your people. You don't gotta think, oh, I failed them as a king, I should have never been their king. That's bullshit. It's your bitch sister's fault. She slashed away knights that used to serve her. Okay. Maybe they don't show up normally, but they show up when Kirai does his crazy take over the world plan and, like, summons multiple servants that shouldn't exist from the Grail or something. I don't know. She attacked the land she once protected. The few knights that stayed with her died off, and the only ones standing in the end were her and Mordred. The douche! Betrayal was always part of his plan. He didn't go this route naturally as if, you're a bad king, I'm gonna betray you. He was fucking born to betray you. Biggest problem is that a lot of her knights also defected with Mordred. Yeah, because they're fucking stupid. And because they got all bamboozled. I guess a lot of the knights did defect. But like, you know... Fucking bunch of bitches. You gotta value your own self more, Saber. Value yourself and the knights who stayed with you more and just say, fuck those bitches who betrayed. Yeah. And maybe they were bamboozled. Maybe you could have unbamboozled them. Maybe they didn't understand the circumstances. Maybe they were trickery tricked by Morgana and Mordred. Anyways. Their personal combat ended with the king's victory. But she did not emerge unscathed. Mordred was bound by a strong curse, so he still swung his sword even after his death and left a fatal wound on the king. Ooh. That is the end of this battle. The last of her, The one called the King of Knights. Must have been painful. And it just happened not long ago from her perspective. Come to think of it, none of her battles were painless. Every one of her 12 battles was severe, and this just happened to be the greatest wound appropriate for her end. You know the exact number of battles? You're really getting a lot of her lore as you go through these dreams. She returned to her territory and destroyed her own army. She punished the knights who used to serve her, and the knights following her all died. That's a little awkward. In the end, she had to kill her own son, even if he was son only in name. I understand. It was Morgan's son, and then they're like, look, Arthur, you can't have real kids because you're a girl, and you can't have a kid with your wife. That doesn't make sense. So we're going to say that this is your son. Okay, I think that's the idea. Okay. So, of course, Morgana and her fucked up son fucked you over. The fucking bitches. Had to kill your own fake son. That must fucking suck. And it must feel awkward, the idea of, you know, going back in and fucking someone else again. Especially the idea of having more children. Ooh. But this time you could have a real child, maybe. Things to think about. I can see why she's so against it, though. On top of how determined she is to reset her wrongs, I don't think she would want to even humor the idea of a relationship that might lead to a kid. Because last kid she had, even if it wasn't by blood, she had to fucking kill her own kid, so... I cannot tell what went through her mind. Of course, the people would rally around the son of King Arthur. Yeah, and by the time the real king came back, it took too, you know... By the time the real king was back, there was probably too much mistrust and lies spread about the real king that she couldn't quell because of Mordred and Morgana's bullshit. So, you know, it wasn't your fault. I understand. I don't think the wish to bring them back is necessarily wrong, or to redo, or to bring back Camelot or whatever, but the wish to erase yourself from existence as if you fucked everything up. The only thing you fucked up is having a bitch sister. Really? That's not your fucking fault. But I have to wish. The lone king who tried to be a king until her last moments. I wish that her last dream might be a normal dream, one that the girl called Artoria might wish for. Given what's been happening, her dream is probably going to be another dark one about you and your backstory and how you're more fucked up. Oh boy, it's morning time! I opened my eyes. I don't know when I got back, but I'm in my room lying on my futon.
ああ、気がついたのですね、シロ。
You've awoken, Shiro. And the slight blush there, of course, because, oh, you're probably ready to just make out. No, you're still probably going to be hesitant to that given what we've learned, but you're definitely more grateful to me.
セイバー、俺はどうして
Saber, why am I...
あれから今まで眠っていたのです。体の方はほぼ完治していますから、心配には及びません。
Was I sleeping for multiple days? The last time with Berserker, didn't I end up sleeping for like 3 days or something? That would sound correct, but maybe not. Maybe with how much better my healing powers are, maybe it was just one sleep. But I remember at the expedition it went on was him finally making peace with the Roman Empire, and fighting was over, and then Mordred revolted. Of course Mordred would wait for the perfectly terrible time. You were a great king, Saber. Stop trying to erase yourself from existence. You'll just make things worse. You've been sleeping since that time. Your body's almost completely healed, so you don't need to worry.
そうか。それはいいけど。
I see, that's great, but... What about Saber? She used Excalibur. She may not even have enough magical energy to heal herself.
セイバー、ずっと俺の手当てを。
Saber, were you treating me all this time?
手当てと言っても汗を拭く程度です。私
Aw,
はリンのように人の傷を見ることはできませんから。
that's her vulnerable pose. That's her real vulnerable pose. Nothing in battle ever makes her vulnerable, but this is vulnerable. I merely wiped your sweat. I can't treat wounds as Rin does. I'm sorry. What's up with Rin and Ilya, by the way, at the moment?
バカ。 そんなことしなくていいんだ。
Idiot, you didn't need to do that. Such a great king, even the invaders of her people claimed her as their own legend. Ugh.
今は俺よりセイバーの方が辛いだろ
Must be more painful for you right now.
そのようなことはありません。シローに比べれば私は軽傷です。
That was a double take look. Maybe it's more painful for her emotionally because she's had to be here waiting for me to be okay. But yeah, physically, nah. That's not true. I only have a light wound compared to you.
しかし今のは聞き捨てなりませんね。いくら傷が塞がったと言ってもシローは死んでもおかしくない傷だったのです。
But I cannot ignore what you
今は
just
自
said.
分の体を案じてください。
Even if your wounds have healed, they were bad enough that you could have died. Please worry about yourself for now. Saying so, Saber reaches for the wash bowl beside her. There's a cold towel in there. After squeezing the water out of it, she wipes my sweating body. Hubba hubba. Dash dash. I'm really embarrassed.
シロー、傷が痛むのですか？また熱が出てきたようですが。
Does your wound hurt, Shiro? It seems you're getting a fever again. I'm just getting the hot jitties. You know, I'm like the hubba hubba hubba. I can't help it every time you're in my sight now, Saber. I just want to mac right out in your mouth. Ah.
熱
Macaroni
な
and
んか出
cheese.
てない。いや、そうじゃなくて。いいからセイバーも休んでくれ。
I don't know, Fever. I just have a boner. You can rest for now. Back to being an awkward teenager.
今は元気かもしれないけど、エクスカリバーを使ったんだ。セイバーの方こそ休んでなくちゃダメじゃないか。
You might be
そうなんじゃ
alright,
また倒れちまうだろ
but you used Excalibur, so you should be the one resting. Yo claps again at this rate.
まあ、それはそうなのですが。
Oh, that's a big blush. Well, that's true, but... You're glad that I'm worried for you. But also, I made you another Excalibur. Are you gonna is this gonna be like, and this is what really happened, and then we flash back, do some Evangelion?
今は私の方が元気ですから。マスターの傷が癒えるまで、私が守るのは当然でしょう。
But I'm doing better than you right now. It's only natural for me to protect you until you get better. Is it not because I'm your master, but because I'm genuinely the one more hurt? I guess that's fair. I won't pull the You're a Woman card if you don't pull the I'm your master card.
う。それはもっともな話だよな。
You've got a point there. Crap. I can't object if she says so with that kind of an expression.
分かったよ。俺もしっかりと休むから、セイバーもちゃんと休んでくれ。
Okay.
セイバーが休んでくれないと、俺も落ち着いて眠れない。
I'll rest, so please rest too, Saber. I can't sleep with peace of mind until you rest too.
それはそうですね。私とて睡眠を取らねばならぬ身ですから。
That's true. I need to sleep as well. Aren't Rin and Ilya around? Can't they, Maybe you didn't want to let one of them watch over me because, you're getting really territorial now with our relationship. Saber nods, squeezes the cloth, and puts it on the side of the wash bowl. So where are you going to lie down? Right next to me, maybe. So I let Saber take care of me and suppress my embarrassment.
それでは、私も先に休ませていただきます。
Then I shall be going to bed.
御身、くれぐれもお大事に。
Please take care of your body, Shiro.
ああ。
Okay.
おやすみなさい。
Good night. Oyasumi nasai. I'm thinking konbanwa and you pull out Oyasumi nasai on me. Oyasumi nasai you too. I think konbanwa is more for greetings than it is goodbyes. Oyasumi nasai, that's right. That's for when you're actually as a parting at night. Konbanwa is for a greeting at night. Anyways, I think of konbanwa as like good night, and it is good night. But we say good night in English when we mean we're going to bed, good night. But with them, it's still a form of hello. They've got ohayo for morning hello, konnichiwa for day hello, and then konbanwa for night hello. But that's not why we say good night. Anyways, Rin, just starved to death waiting for Shiro to come back because he's the cook.
言いそびれましたが、礼を言います、シロ。
I forgot to say this, but thank you, Shiro. Thank you too, Saber. Aw, you got a nice smile on your face. Aw. You helped me at the end too with holding the sword, and you've been taking care of me, so
あなたが助かって本当によかった。
I'm really glad that you're okay. Okay, now maybe my boner will calm down that she's gone. Oh. Saber is smiling in the moonlight. Did it look ephemeral because of the weak moonlight? The sliding door is shut before I can find out. Phew. I don't know if I'm happy or lonely now that Saber's gone. I did want her to stay by my side, but that'll be a burden on Saber. And if we stay like that, it'll just be like that night. Oh yeah, where things were like, oh. I shake off the image in my head. Oh, don't be dirty, Shiro. You know you want to be, but don't be. Too many things happened today. It was only a day, but it felt like a week. Really? Because for me, man, it felt like, gosh, what was it? March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. It's like, it was only a week, but it felt like 8 months. It was only a day, but it felt... The date with Saber was more troublesome than fun. We ended up having an argument and I left Saber alone. I feel like the date was fun during, it just got crappy at the end. And that was the best part of the date. A wink. Dash dash. No, I have to rest for now. I can think later. There's not only Gilgamesh, but Lancer as well. Oh, is Lancer still around? I thought the idea was that Lancer was gone. But no, Lancer's still around. Okay. I didn't remember. So I guess Lancer's still around, but Assassin was killed off screen? Oh, that's right, because if Lancer was dead, old Archer can't claim it. That's right. I think the idea is that Assassin, I guess, died off screen. But Lancer's still around, and the idea is if Gilgamesh just goes and kills Lancer, then Saber will win, and Gilgamesh wants Saber to wish for corporealness so that she can be his fuck buddy. Granted, I also want her to wish for corporealness so she can be my fuck buddy, but whatever. I think he also wants to have a wish of his own beyond that. It might just be that he wants her to be his fuck buddy, whatever. But no, I think he said more than that. Like, he made himself corporeal, now he wants more. Don't remember exactly, but yeah. So, if it would be weird. If it was just this Saber, it would have been over. I was thinking that maybe they said something about how, oh, old Archer somehow forced himself into the Grail War, but I don't think that's true. I think still technically once me or Lancer dies, the other one technically wins. But Gilgamesh at least he thinks, I don't know if he's right, but he thinks that he can somehow take the Grail for himself even if he's not technically entered. We can't win unless we start over in our best conditions. Okay, and the boner's back. Happened a few hours ago. Was it a few hours? Are you sure? You sure I've been sleeping for days? She said something about me being her sheath. Was that just metaphorical? I was badly injured and about to fall asleep, so I couldn't ask her why. Kusal. No, he didn't say that. Damn it, I just know that Kusal is the main form of... I can't fall asleep. Saber's dream, her resolute face in front of death and her face when she nursed me overlap each other. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Good night, to myself. The frailness of her smile won't get out of my head. Oh no, that was her good night to me. Ellipses. The smile that never showed up in the girl in my dream. It's showing up in reality. That's good. Character development. She says that it makes her happier when I smile. Well, it clearly makes you happier when she smiles. It's vexing. Why is it vexing instead of saddening? That's a great question. Why is it vexing instead of saddening, Shiro? Why is it vexing instead of, in fact, not even saddening, but happening? Happying. Why isn't it happying? Because, it's like, it should just be, oh, you're happy when she smiles, she's happy when you smile. Maybe the reason you're vexed or saddened is that you want to be the one, no, wait, what? If you were smiling, she would be happy. Or are you thinking that she was smiling because you were smiling. Are you wondering why you were smiling? Or are you thinking there should be other things to make her happy other than you? Are you thinking that she deserves to be happy just in general, whereas you don't? Why is it vexing or saddening at all? You're not a duck, Shiro. I don't know why I'm annoyed to the point of anger. That is very strange. Smile that never showed up on the girl in my dream. It means you're changing her. You're making her smile. Maybe you're mad because, again, you fucking hate yourself and you're like, she should be able to be happy without me. Like, even if I'm gone, she should be able to be happy. Like, I almost died in that fight. If I had died, she should still have been able to be happy without me because I'm no one special. She should be happy. But you fucking fail to realize that the reason she's becoming happy is because of you? But maybe you do realize that she's becoming happy because of you, and she's like, and you're like, no, that's bullshit. She should be happy without me. Man, shit, that's fucked up. If I'm reading into this correctly. I smack the futon. Maybe you're furious because you let her see you in such a state, and you want to make it so that you're happy more, to make her happy more, to make you happy more. And you're like, no, that fucking Gilgamesh jerk. What a dick bag, right? About to rage around because of this unknown irritation. You definitely got some issues, Shiro. You definitely got some issues.
シロ、体の具合が悪いのですか?
That's right, she sleeps like right next door. Shiro, are you not feeling well? No, I'm fine. I'm just, weird anger boner. Should be happy, but I'm angry because I'm Shiro and I'm weird. I got some issues. I hear her worried voice from the other side of the sliding screen. I think I kind of get it. It's a bit weird, but I think I kind of get it. I get where the frustration is coming from. I was out of breath, so it must have sounded like I... Anger boners, best boners? I don't know if I agree with that. I was out of breath, so it must have sounded like I tossed around because of pain. Ugh.
いや、大丈夫。それよりも、まだセイバーは起きてるのか?
I'm fine. Are you still awake?
はい。ですが、本当にシロの方はよろしいのですか?
Yes,
まだ
but...
苦しいのでしたら、そちらに行きますが。
Are you sure you're alright? I can go there if you're in pain. No, I'm fine, but are you okay, Saber? Are you sure you don't need me by your side? Oh, I'm fine, but are you sure you're okay, Shiro? I could be by your side. One line from Issei keeps popping in my head about Shiro having anger problems. That's right. Shiro does seem normally kind of down to earth, but like apparently he had, yeah, that's right. Issei did say he had anger issues. We haven't really seen them manifest much, maybe because he tries to keep them bottled up. Like the only reason, he doesn't, he didn't fuck up Shinji earlier is because he's gone too far in the past and is maybe trying to keep them reined in these days, and that's why, it kind of explodes in random bursts. He's an angry boy. He's an evil little boy keeping the evilness bottled up, which is just making it, unhealthy for him because he's meant to be evil, but he's keeping it bottled up with his anger, which just makes him explode. No, it's better if I go over there. No, that's bad. Something I've kept in myself would overflow if I see Saber right now. Something you've kept in yourself? Maybe his anger issue relates to him suppressing his darkness and intelligence. Maybe. That would make a lot of sense, And yet Issei still seems to know about it. I guess because maybe he did let it out when they were younger. And, he's been trying his best to rein it in, maybe by Kiritsugu's guidance.
Saber, 少しだけ話いいか?
Saber, can I talk with you a bit?
はい。このままでよろしければ。
Yes, if we can talk like this. We start talking through the sliding screen. Maybe it's because I can't see her, but I recall the smile I last saw on her. Just imagine she has that smile the whole time. Saber was smiling happily. My frustration increases instead of calming down. Uh-oh. Maybe because you just got fucked up by Gilgamesh and you hate that she saw you that way, and you want to be more of a hero for her, and you feel like you didn't succeed the best, and the only reason you even succeed is because she helped you out when she grabbed the sword. You wanted to do it yourself, and yet now after the fact, after you got so fucked up, she's smiling about it, and you're like, no, you shouldn't be smiling. You should be smiling when I'm awesome. I was stupid just now, even though you weren't stupid. You were awesome, but Or maybe you're frustrated because you've been dodging the issue. Like, you came to get her to be like, hey, Staber, stop being stupid. And then she was able to dodge the issue when Archer showed up. And maybe now you're still angry because you haven't brought the issue back up. And you're like, no, she can't get away with just being happy. We have to resolve the issue. Maybe that's the idea. But you also feel shitty about asking about it, but you can't just not ask about it. Evil Shiro with the power of immortality and just summoning Caliburn all the time is a real scary thought. I don't know why my body is heating up, but I need to talk to Saber. I have to say that it's wrong. I don't know what's really right, but I have to tell her that I'm not wrong about this. Oh, yeah, it's about her thing. Her dumb wish? Okay, that's what it is. I see. It's coming back with a vengeance. I guess that's been the top thing on your mind. And now with the fight out of the way. Makes sense. My tongue and throat tremble. Too scared after what just happened? Is it too soon? I can't turn back once I say this. I fully acknowledge it and...
もういい。いいから。お前は自分のために笑わないと。
That is what it is. Okay. That's what I said. You didn't want him to have to smile for Shiro's sake. You wanted her to truly smile. You want her to be able to smile even if Shiro's not involved. It's alright. It's fine. You should smile for your own sake. But she has the same problem as you, Shiro. You have trouble smiling for your own sake. You only get happy because of her. And for the most part, she only gets happy because of you. It's a very weird relationship. It's a very weird chemistry. It's definitely there, but it's weird. And this song, I feel like, is new. Or at least I don't remember it. I'm pushed by an unknown impulse and say this. This might be getting somewhere, you know, sexy. It's a sexy song. Sexy save point. At the very least, two broken people trying to piece each other together. And because of the way they're broken, it makes the interaction all the more awkward. I think we might stop here for the day. The fight is over. We got to the end of the big fight scene. And we're on to the next day. I can't tell if it's technically the next day. Maybe it's still the night of. But, this seems like a big conversation. I don't really want to start the conversation. I have to stop partway through. And, I do have some things to do today. We'll be able to go a bit longer tomorrow. But for today, I think we're good to stop here. Part of me thought maybe we were about to hit the end of the pathway. It seemed like it was really winding up. But then Gilly just peaced out. He was just like, nope, I'm out of here. So that's interesting. I guess we might still have a ways to go yet. We shall see next time, I guess. If you're watching us on YouTube, still in an outro phrase. Bye-bye then.